Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this episode of Reconnected with one of my dearest friends in the entire world, Dr. Will Dodson. How are you?
Hey, I'm all right.
It is wonderful to see you. Funny enough, we've both been kind of busy the last couple of weeks, so we've been interacting a lot less, and it's been really weird.
Yeah, it was almost like my life before.
It's nice to have you back. I'm glad you're here and safe.
I want you to know how much you mean to me because I'm giving up a couple of things that I would be doing otherwise.
What's that? I'd love to hear those defined.
KMFDM is playing at this very moment, and I was going to go see him until I found out. I'm sure that there aren't that many KMFDM fans in 2024 on this channel, but I still like them. And was planning on going, and then I was like, oh no, it's on the first Thursday.
Yeah, I ruined everything. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what I did tonight, though. This was a new social experience for me. As I'm sure most people have been able to tell at this point, that my entire personality is a defense mechanism to hide my extreme social anxiety.
Oh, right? We know, yeah.
That's pretty clear, like almost instantly, right?
Yeah, it comes across.
So, on Halloween, I took this past year, I took my daughter through trick-or-treating in this neighborhood we're living in, and met some, bougie suburban folks. And I don't say that as a slight. We're in a little bougie suburb right now. That's where we live now, in a rental, to be clear, on the outskirts. Their houses are much nicer. But anyway, one of the guys is like, hey, we do a monthly game night for the men. And I was like, well, that's very traditional of you. How do you define that? And they define it the old way. So I've been putting it off for months, but tonight I finally went because Leibach isn't playing Silent Manual. I don't even think they're allowed to come to America anymore, Leibach. But anyway, Jack Kane said, well, I'm a thrill kill coke. Actually, the very first album I ever bought, age 13, from a disc jockey in Mercer Mall in Bluefield, by God, West Virginia. Very first CD I ever bought, age 13, was My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, Sexplosion. And let me tell you, that opened up some avenues for me. I learned the lyrics to Leather Sex and still recite them. But anyway, I went to game night. I went to the middle-aged guy game night. And I was picturing some sort of like smoke-filled room where everybody had a like pistol in their belt playing Texas Hold'em or something like that. But it wasn't. It was a game about sushi. And you have to...
Sushi Go.
Okay. Yeah. Where you...
Okay. Sure.
So I won. I saved up all the desserts. And it was kind of like how Biden won the election in 2020, allegedly. He had all the mail ballots. So it looked like Trump was winning, but when they started counting the mail ballots, it was like Biden came up. I saved up all my desserts, and so at the end, it looked like somebody won. But then they counted my desserts, and I won. And then after that, we started. Craig anticipated Catan. Which I'd never played before, and it is a brutal game of medieval conquest. Did not do as well on that one. I had to leave.
Catan is rough.
Yeah, but okay, and so that's the second thing. So not only did I skip KMFDM, but I left in the middle of the Catan game to come here.
So you're not missing much. Got it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
nice guys though. Like. I don't know. One of them was a woodworker or something. I don't know what the other ones do. We didn't get into. One guy was from Missouri, though. He's from Columbia. I was like, oh, I got a buddy in Kansas City. He's like, oh, I've been to Kansas City. It's like, you ever tried their custard?
Have you ever had a concrete?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. I was like, you have the concrete? And he's like, what? And I was like, the custard. He's like, oh, Andes. I was like, yeah, man, Andes.
I love that he named the place that I took you to.
Yeah,
Man, it's been a wild month. You and I are still working on a bunch of stuff. One
yeah.
big thing, you were a part of the award show since you were on last. Thanks for doing that.
I again, what a bummer way to start the awards show. But I had no idea I was going first. But I was very glad to take a moment to pay tribute to the great David J. Scull. I'm so sad about his passing, which was so senseless. A guy jumped the median and crashed into his car. But he wrote some of the all-time great books, and his commentaries on Freaks, on Dracula, they really set the standard. I just love the guy.
Clearly meant a lot to you, and I mean, I know that just having that be a part of the beginning of the awards was important too. I mean, it was kind of appropriate for how the year started specifically. I mean, it was such a beginning of the year, and here we go. One of the biggest names is gone all of a sudden.
But that's sad. But congratulations to you and Celeste. I thought the show was great. It was so cool to see so many people. Not only accepting awards but giving them. It was like, I'm not going to watch the Oscars, but I tuned in. I could not tell you a single film that was nominated for any Oscar, but because I could not care less. But I actually was excited to see who won Shelf Shock, and I want to say this is off script. So unlike me, but I want to say, because I don't think they got any recognition at all, right? I want to unilaterally decide to give an extra Shelf Shock award to Mondo Macabro for the Bollywood Horror Collection, which I think, did that come out? Was that eligible?
It was eligible last year as well, yeah.
Which is like Bollywood horror in general, an underappreciated box set. This thing is incredible.
I agree.
And everyone should check it out if they can. So this is the Will Dodson, doesn't really count, but here it is, award.
Well, funny enough, this is the perfect segue into pickups, because I was going to highlight the main reason that Will and I are even friends to begin with is because Will Googled Mondo Macabro. And so let me share. I got in the newest round of Mondo Macabro titles. I am so excited to watch all of these, but man, Death Squad and Special Silencers primarily, very, very eager to see these.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say, before we continue with pickups, you brought up the Oscars. I better promote it at least a little bit. Hey, I'm going to be live on Sunday watching the Oscars with John DeMarsico from the broadcast director of the New York Mets. He was a part of the award show, and then Jeremy Long, who dressed up in a Barbie costume for the award show. He will be in and out that night because he is hosting an Oscars party. But yeah, we're going to be live reacting to the Oscars all day Sunday. If you want to come hang out, put on this, put it on your lap, make us your second screen as we all watch it together.
I just trashed the Oscars.
I thought it was perfect timing.
I'll watch some of your show.
I'm gonna go through a couple other pickups and then I'll pass it on to you. One that surprised the hell out of me that got announced this year, and another company that did not get any Shelf Shock recognition. I think it got 1 or 2 nominations. Absolutely deserves some attention, because 2023 specifically and 2024 is off to an incredible start. Warner Archive. I was so beyond excited for this box set when it got announced. There are 10 releases in this that you can get all as single edition disc release if you don't want the whole thing. But this thing is cheap for everything that you're getting in here. There's 10 full releases, and like this, the regular price for this is like $60. That's $6 a Warner Archive release. That's incredible.
Yeah. They really are. I'm really happy with Warner Archive's announcements so far in 2024.
Kind of killing it, yeah. Another company that really doesn't put out a lot, but deserves a lot of attention. Arbalos put out this beautiful release of Twilight, some of the best art so far this year. I know we're only in March, but yes, Twilight.
Wait, that Twilight?
No, this is a Russian noir Twilight.
Oh,
I think
good.
it's Russian. And then another one that is semi-close to both of us because we're both a big fan and respect this individual a lot. This is a release through Scream Team releasing of Cryptids, which is a modern horror anthology, and the wraparound story is with Joe Bob Briggs playing a radio host.
Yeah.
And if you buy it from the Scream Team releasing site, I believe you can still get an autographed copy from a bunch of the individuals involved with it. This was a Kickstarter a couple years ago, and it finally came through. You'll be able to get that soon. And then this is my opportunity to announce for next week. The interview going live on the channel next week is a boutique label that you never see the individual behind working this boutique label. You hardly ever hear from him. I am doing an interview with Cult Epics, Nico B from Cult Epics, and oh my God, is it a very interesting conversation. You guys are going to want to hear this. Just got this in based on our conversation and eager to watch all of these. The Last Island specifically. Oh my gosh, that movie sounds and looks incredible.
It's quite good. Oh man, I wish I'd known about that one. I would have given you like 35 questions about Tod Brass.
we had a little bit, but man, I'd ask questions about like Pig and Tarantino making him famous in the 90s and everything else that happened with him. So yeah, it's a big conversation. I hope people check it out. I will warn for everybody that watches these on YouTube specifically. Nico was not able to be on camera, so it's my first audio only interview. However, I am putting together some special visuals, so if you're going to watch it on YouTube, there will still be some stuff during the show.
I have about 35 hours of Tod Brass stills to send to you.
I can do that.
Some of which can be shown.
I was going to say I will censor about 84% of that.
Yeah.
What do you got, sir?
What are we on? Pickups or watches? Pickups.
Pickups.
Well, Dr. Jekyll versus the Werewolf. This is the 4K, right? From Mondo McConnell. I'm pretty excited about that. Let's see. Got my Vinegar Syndrome subscription, but I also picked up a couple of extras. Pretty stoked about the Showbiz Pizza documentary.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, I went to Showbiz Pizza several times as a youth. Randomly on sale were a couple of Norman J. Warren standard editions, so I got Terror and Prey, and I'm thinking about spending some of my loyalty points to get a slipcover. I don't know. I mentioned my love of the Saints, the Australian punk band, last time. The A film is the Cosmic Psychos documentary, but I'm mainly psyched about the Saints film. Little Darlings, of course, enough said.
Yep.
My main one for pickups is, they had that Criterion sale, and I managed. People are going to get pissed at how nerdy this is. I've been banking coupons all year, so I had like 4 $10 coupons, and with those, I picked up Roaring 20s,
4K.
Oh yeah, the coupons didn't pay for all of it, but cut it down quite a bit. Got the Lone Star 4K.
Beautiful.
Of course, Sam Deegan's debut on some great films, the Trio and the Executioners.
Another 4K.
And then Blast of Silence and Mudbound. So pretty excited about those. But that was just enough to trigger a $50 gift certificate. And so I justified, and I know people get the idea that all I watch is like Jim Wynorski movies and whatnot. Look at this shit. Chantel Ackerman and Eric Romer box sets. I will be falling asleep to these for months.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so those are my pick. It was a pretty big haul, really, for
Yeah.
the month.
Yeah, Severin and TerraVision stuff for a lot of people shipping as of this week. One big thing, I know we're going to talk about OCN in just a moment, but a reminder before we get too deep into this, it's March. It feels like we just got last year's Black Friday stuff in a lot of people's hands. Literally, next Thursday night, the pre-sale for the halfway to Black Friday sale goes live. So once again, we're back in that mode already.
And I believe Severin's announcing tomorrow, right?
Severin is announcing tomorrow. Yes, it's going to be a very busy week.
By the way, in case anybody cares about this, you see that white bookcase behind me?
Yes.
That's the complete Severin catalog.
Really? That's kind of amazing. I don't think I knew that you were working on that. And now you're frozen, maybe? Okay, there you are. And now I can't hear you because you picked up your computer. Just hit the mute button. Oh, Will.
There you go.
Full Severin set. That's incredible.
That's what you get. That's what you get for showing off. I learned. I used to read Goofus and Gallant all the time in the dentist office as a kid. Your generation doesn't have Goofus and Gallant, do you?
I read Goofus and Gallant when I was a kid. Come on.
Oh, okay. Highlights magazine. I teach you how to be better than what you are.
Any comments on the Severin collection? I've said it twice now. What was the last thing you got in? I didn't even know you were working on it.
Not like on purpose. It just kind of happened.
Accidentally got everything.
Oh, you know what? I am missing 2 titles.
Oh,
I lied. Yes, I'm sorry. I am missing the Cushing box set. I am missing Dance Macabre 2.
Oh, fairly new stuff though.
Yeah, those will be like next sale. The Scavengers set is in the mail. Pretty excited about that. What's the most recent thing I got? I got the Black Friday stuff.
Nice.
What they sell? They didn't sell anything in December, right? It was Black Friday and then straight to Scavengers and okay.
Yep. Straight to the Lee Frost.
Right.
Yeah, the Lee Frost couple, those were, exciting announcements, stuff that you were looking at for a long time. But this is probably a good time. Since the last time you were on, we also got to announce some TerraVision titles that we have been a part of. First is one that we worked on a few months ago with Erica and Lance from Unsung Horrors, Dreamstalker from 1991 coming out. And they are on a visual essay on this called All Jocks Are Bastards.
It's great. It's great. Also, that end of year show that Unsung Horrors does where they get people to say what they want. My pick was the Scavengers. So you're welcome, everybody. that was my wish list is the Scavengers restored. Thank you, Severin.
So everybody needs to go check out TerraVision and pre-order these titles. They are shipping very, very soon. They are expected, I believe, to come in at the end of next week or the sometime over next weekend, I believe. And then the other one.
Oh wait, we're still talking about Dreamstalker.
Oh yeah, sure.
It is a stultifying viewing experience, and I say that in the best way possible. It will stun, confuse, and stultify you. And I absolutely love the visual essay that Erica and Lance came up with. It is both funny and insightful, and really well put together. So happy about it.
It is a wonderfully written essay, and I think it will make people very happy. Yeah, this is a good release, and as John Peters in the chat said, this was released on DVD from Severin through Intervision, and even though this was shot on video, it does look quite a bit better, actually, on this release. The old Severin DVD through Intervision was a double feature, and this one, it gives a lot of room to breathe, and it looks great. Next one, speaking of TerraVision and looking great, why don't you tell us about our release of Door 2, Will?
Well, if you've ever wanted to know what I think about Japanese sex work industry, I'm really I'm honored because a person that I consider a friend and a mentor, Nina K. Martin, the author of Sexy Thrills, Undressing the Erotic Thriller, and one of the primary interview subjects in We Kill for Love, that documentary about erotic thrillers. You know, is that what it's called? We Kill for Love?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So Nina and I did the commentary track together, and it was cool because we talked about it, you know, kind of in terms of its genre intersections with erotic thrillers, with noir, with gothic, and so it was kind of a unique take, I think, on the film, and then also we did a visual essay in which I hope will become a fairly regular series called A Synthetic Art, which is we take a scene and we break down the techniques of how the scene is put together and explain how those techniques kind of contribute to the theme and so on. So really cool. And then two other awesome visual essays. I'm so honored to have my name next to Alexandra Heller-Nicholas and Ren Scatini. So that's really cool. And Ryan's being too modest. That visual essay was I wrote it, but Ryan was the editor for it. So
I love that you're saying I'm honored to be written next to Alexandra Heller-Nicholas, and in this visual essay, you literally speak about two women describing how they clean up for anal sex.
It's not clean up, it's prep.
Prep.
Why do you have to? You know, that's a spoiler.
No, it's public knowledge because it's a selling point.
It's a pivotal scene. It's a pivotal scene in which two sex workers share shop talk.
And it's a really well made scene. That is something that can't, not joking about this at all. This movie is genuinely a great movie and a surprising entry into this era of V cinema, and very different from Door. So if you've only ever seen the first one or heard about the first one, this is very worth it as well.
Yeah. And of course, TerraVision also has already put out Door. Door 2 is not a sequel. It is the Door 2 was slapped on to a movie called Tokyo Diary as a cash grab. However, they are still good companion pieces. You do not need to see Door in order to watch Door 2. But why not? You know what I mean?
Yep, and you can still buy Door on the TerraVision website right now. It still has a slipcover.
Such a terrible salesman. Yeah, but Door 2 I think it's a pretty cool movie.
And finally, TerraVision also announced that they are creating a sub-label kind of, it's basically another imprint of Graveface to release some other films that are not as tightly aligned with the genre films that TerraVision has been releasing. And the first film that they're doing as this Graveface Films imprint is River from 2023. And this movie is beautiful. It's a really, really well-made film. It is a really interesting story about time loops, and it's done by a director who has dabbled in that space before. So he really knows how to direct it well, because he's kind of hit similar themes twice before this. And then on top of that, the art that they're doing for this is all done in-house by Ryan Graveface's wife, Chloe. And they're doing this special packaging where it's got this little strip on the bottom that has all of the information on the film, and that will be able to come off. But again, this slipcover is gorgeous. I especially love the back of this. And we are highlighting this specifically because once again, someone's favorite productions is on this release for a visual essay called Everyday Time Travel, which was written by Blake Bergman and Will Dodson. And Blake is in the chat sometimes as Spaghetti. You'll recognize his name. Really, really fun essay. You want to talk about that at all?
I got on top of spaghetti, covered it with cheese. I lost my poor meatball because that some bitch sneezed. Um, yeah, this movie is I was blown away. I'd never seen any of the director's films prior to this. I love how TerraVision was like, we need a sub-label that doesn't make people think of horror. We'll call it Gray Face.
It's hard when that's your owner's last name, though. I get
right. Wait, that's not his real name?
I'm not sure. I think it's his legal name now.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that. That was disrespectful. Names are important. But like I always thought, oh wow, Nick Cave, what a cool punk rock name. And it turned out that's just this guy's real name. It's like, wow, your name's Nick Cave? That's fucking awesome, dude.
That's deep.
Yeah, it's like you were born to be badass. But yeah, this is a stacked release. Looks great. The slipcover art is amazing. I can't and I know we're gushing all over these movies. I'll be honest, some of the movies that we're on coming out are not good, and I will say that. Okay.
Same.
So not good in any like conventional sense of quality or technique, but still interesting. So we'll say what that. But this particular slate of films is really like impressive.
Yes.
I can't believe our good fortune in getting on them, and I'm really appreciative to Brad and Ryan and the whole team at Gray Face and TerraVision for trusting us with these releases, because they're really, really good.
And then I know that we're not on this release, but everybody, if you want to check out a bundle, they're also releasing President's Day from 2010. This is directed by Chris LaMartina, who also did the WNUF Halloween special. And this also comes with his film Amerikill from 1999 as a bonus. And both of those films have commentaries. Both of those have special features. It is absolutely worth it. If you go on here and check out some of the bundles, you will be very happy. You can get all four of those for $92, which I got to admit, for pre-ordering is a very good price for those four movies. And I think it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, the cover art for all of these is good. I can't wait to send a copy of Door 2 to my mom. She's just going to be like, oh, so proud of you.
That's hilarious. Let's pull that down from TerraVision. And what have you been watching lately, Will?
Oh man. So actually, you know what? I'll show you what I've watched, and then I want to show you show everybody something else that I think people will think is cool. So here's what I've been watching lately. Let's see. I checked out Magic Crystal.
Oh, nice.
Which was quite good. Really great fight choreography, and has some elements that also remind me of extraterrestrial visitors, pod people.
Yeah.
So if like mix Cynthia Rothrock, Richard Norton, Andy Lau kung fu movie with pod people. I did this as a marathon. I did the Agfa's Bloodorama triple feature, triple Frightmare.
Nice.
Featuring Help Me I'm Possessed, Night of the Strangler, and Carnival of Blood. And I recommend it. I recommend doing the drive-in option where you watch the 3 movies back to back with commercials and trailers. They have a really cool black and white trailer of Peeping Tom in here.
Oh, interesting.
Which was very unexpected.
How long does that whole program run?
A little over 4 hours.
That's not too bad.
4.5, something like that. Yeah, I had to break it over 2 nights, but it was cool. And then I'm about to finish up my Jack Arnold essay. Jack Arnold, of course, directed The Swiss Conspiracy, which we did a visual essay for. And so this week I watched a Western noir he did with Jeff Chandler and Orson Welles called Man in the Shadow. Quite good.
Nice.
Recommend it. Another Jeff Chandler movie, The Tattered Dress. quite good. And Dee Sibner, you're right. Burt Young, Polly from Rocky is in Carnival of Blood. And then finally, I cannot recommend this enough. If you like campy, ridiculous teenage movies from the 50s, High School Confidential with Russ Tamblyn and Mamie Van Doren, as well as Drew Barrymore's dad, whose name is John Drew Barrymore. High School Confidential is awesome.
I've mostly been watching stuff with my kids this week, so nothing super exciting to report on, except for the movie I watched on Monday night was a banger. If nobody has or if you haven't checked this out yet, highly recommend Take Shelter. This is the second sight limited release. I watched a different disc of this one. Take Shelter, starring Michael Shannon and Jessica Chastain, was an incredible piece of like understanding psychological trauma and how it affects the people around you. And when it comes to like questioning what is real and not, and all I can say is Michael Shannon can freaking act. Have you seen Take Shelter before?
I've not. It's on my list though.
It is just a wonderfully acted movie, and they've got some stuff in that movie that surprised the hell out of me. I didn't expect it to go to places that they did. I mean, there's like a city council meeting dinner type thing that happens near the end of the movie, and Michael Shannon, it might have been like the best performance of the last 15 years just in that one scene. It was an incredible piece of acting from him. Absolutely astounding.
I feel like I just saw Michael Shannon singing in a rock and roll band.
He helped REM for a night.
That's it. I saw him doing Radio Free Europe.
Yep.
Why was he doing that? He was helping out.
He plays in a band, and then I believe REM had an impromptu reunion at that show.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool. Way to go, Michael Shannon. You're kind of scary looking, but you're also hot and talented.
So win.
Yeah.
I think that's all for recent watches and pickups and TerraVision. Anything else that you want to bring up before we start the big part of the show?
Oh yeah, man. Let me tell you guys about this because I don't know how many people are aware of it, or if you are aware of it, you may not have actually seen any of this work before. So Herschel Gordon Lewis, right? We're all familiar with the Godfather of Gore, right?
Heard of her, yeah.
Yep. So I'm working on this essay, and of course I can never make essays easy. So like when I was pitching it, I was like, I don't want to talk about any of his movies. And they're like, well, what do you want to talk about since this is a book about Herschel Gordon Lewis's movies? So, well, I want to talk about his career as a direct mail copyright guru. And he's written about 30 books with titles like The Art of Writing Copy, How to Write Powerful Fundraising Letters, Catalog Copy That Sizzles.
Wow.
Marketing Mayhem, right? Why marketing isn't producing the way it used to. And this is one of my favorites, Direct Mail Copy That Sells. And basically these are instructions on rhetoric, right? How to sell stuff. He also, with his wife Margot, wrote the definitive Everybody's Guide to Plate Collecting. If you're into commemorative plates, you know, those plates with like paintings of Donald Trump on them and stuff. He wrote this, and this book is funny. He makes jokes that are very funny about plate collecting and collectors of plates, while at the same time telling the history of ceramics from ancient China to today. And these books are just incredible. And he became world renowned as a direct mail guy. You know, his books are all bestsellers. He made millions of dollars as a consultant, going to retreats and giving TED TED Talks or whatever about direct mail marketing. And then another book that I picked up, and this is so funny to me and possibly no one else, but this is a book from 2012. I was just on an episode of the Culture Cast that featured the great Mike White of the Projection Booth. And so I pick up this book that I've had for probably 10 years, which is a long interview with Herschel Gordon Lewis. Who do you think wrote the foreword? Mike freaking White. So in addition to being a small world, it has been a really fun month and a half of reading instruction manuals on how to sell stuff through the mail. And one of the last books he wrote before he passed away was how to write effective email fish messages.
What the heck?
Yeah, Sardis asks, am I sure it's the same guy? Picture's right there, buddy. That is Herschel Gordon Lewis. It's the same guy.
That's wild.
And just a fascinating career. He did that for about 30 years. So between Gore Girls and Blood Feast 2 and the Uh-Oh Show. But he taught mass communications some college in Mississippi before doing the Nudie Cuties with Friedman. So he's always kind of been in that field of rhetoric and marketing.
That is astonishing. I didn't think we were going to have a Herschel Gordon Lewis copywriting chat tonight. That's amazing. Love that.
Wait till you read the essay. It's going to be scintillating. Hopefully I'll learn something from him and I'll write a very entertaining essay. But there's going to be a collection coming out later this year on Lewis. The other essays will be about his films.
Maybe. The other thing I wanted to do before we started is last week we had an exclusive reveal of the whole slip that or the sleeve, I guess, that's going to be on the Alexander Patushko release from Deaf Crocodile of their fourth Patushko film, Ruslan and Ludmila. Their Kickstarter is up to almost $81,000. So congrats to Deaf Crocodile. Wow. But maybe one of the big things is in the comments on Facebook. It seems like they are letting everybody know that if you want this film, this and their website are going to be the place to go. You're not going to be able to get this on the Vinegar Syndrome website. So if you want this movie, get it now. Get it now. Support people like Deaf Crocodile who are doing the best type of work to, put their heart and soul into restorations and give everybody incredible extras. They are doing just astonishing work. Wow,
it's happening. So World War III and one more film, and that's it, right? For OCN?
Not necessarily. It's just that this one will not be on the Vinegar Syndrome website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is what's going on. It just won't be on there. So if you want it, he says they bought all of the copies from OCN.
Wow. Okay. So this is a special one.
Yep.
I gotcha. Very cool. I did initially I missed out on the slip. And then when
that thing went quick.
Yeah. But then thankfully they bought all the slips and I was able to increase my pledge. So yay.
Gave them more money.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all of the prep that we've got for tonight.
Oh my God. It's 40 minutes in. We haven't
40 minutes
yet?
in and everybody's here ready for announcements. Are you ready?
No, I mean, I never know what's happening. So.
Well, it's so interesting because we have one Kino title and then we're all in on OCN for the next probably 45 minutes at least. So let's get to it. And the first one is a Fritz Lang, Secret Beyond the Door from 1947, coming on Blue on April 30th from Kino. This has a new audio commentary with Alan K. Rode. I don't remember. Have you talked about Fritz Lang on this channel at all yet?
Well, I'm pro Fritz Lang. And I'm thinking, okay, I have this movie, so it had to have come out in another edition. Was it not on Kino before?
It may have been. I'm not sure
Um,
if this is a reissue.
but it's a new commentary, so
New
yeah.
commentary, and it's a 2022 HD master from a 4K scan.
Okay, so it's going to look great. Yeah, this is a really, really good movie. What else is there to say? Like everybody should, like anytime there's a Fritz Lang movie, you should watch it.
This is in the 4 film noir classics from Arrow, and
Oh,
it also released from Olive way back in 2012.
okay. I must have the Arrow set then. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it was on the Arrow set. It was in an Olive release, but that was 12 years ago. So yeah, very different release for the US.
Oh, that's a great one to start with. Oh, here we go.
Here we go, straight into OCN. Right now, you can pre-order Dr. Terror's House of Horrors on 4K from 1965. This is an anthology in 4K coming from some major names. You got Peter Cushing in this, Christopher Lee, Donald Sutherland. This is a big deal that we are getting this. I believe this is the first 4K release from Amicus, right? I think it has to be. Yeah, and beyond that, oh wow, thanks, Cinema. It's not Alan K. Rode, not Alan K. Rode. Appreciate that. This, first 4K release from Amicus, while still no Hammer releases on 4K. Kind of interesting that Amicus beat him to the punch.
Freddie Francis gets you close, though. He's Hammer adjacent. Freddie Francis, man, the only man in the world who could both create the beautiful cinematography of The Innocents and then direct Trog.
Oh, well said. This is going to have an audio commentary with Freddie Francis and Jonathan Southcott. We've got some featurettes with some never-before-seen interviews. We have a 39-minute conversation with Stephen Thrower. Archival making of, that's an hour long. Some archival interviews. And, German trailer, English trailer, Italian trailer. I mean, good art. This looks like a fun release.
Yep.
Like me some anthology. Freddie Francis love from Stan Geezy.
Yeah. That reminds me. Has everybody subscribed to the Criterion channel so they can watch Freddie Got Fingered? So I got my weekly email from the Criterion streaming channel, and it always lists like what the most popular films are, and Freddie Got Fingered is like number 1.
Of course, yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, okay, so people have been guessing for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years that Criterion, not guessing, like joking around that one of these years on April 1st, Criterion will announce Freddie Got Fingered and it will be a funny thing, whatever. People have made fake covers and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
At this point, I would not be surprised at all if Criterion did announce it.
Well, it certainly is a seminal early entry in the anti-comedy genre that rose in its wake. I saw that in the theater, first run in Memphis, Tennessee. And when my companion and I began the film, it was about 3/4 full, the theater. And when we finished the film, it was just the two of us. I'm not exaggerating at all. So anyway,
it is really fun.
But that is not Freddie Francis. That is a different Freddie. Sorry.
Freddie Got Francis. Next title. This is a double feature on Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome. Spectres and Maya coming out. These are from 1987 and 1989. These sound okay. I've never seen either one of these. Have you seen these ones?
Go back to Maya. It's like if a high school goth chick tried to recreate a scene from Hellraiser in her bedroom. That's great. I love this.
Yeah.
For those listening to the podcast, I'm talking about the slipcover art. Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited about these. I know nothing about them. The art is selling me though.
Some features on this. We've got a commentary with Troy Howarth and Eugenio Ercolani. That's on Spectres. We got some interviews with the director and co-writer Marcello Avallone, or Marcello Avallone. Producer co-writer Maurizio Tedesco's on that as well. Basically, Eugenio Ercolani is on the ground in Italy, getting as many people for these as he can. There's so many special features. I couldn't even fit everything because it is so many.
Did not really realize that Sergio Stivoletti did the effects. That's great. Oh, that's for Spectres. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, this is very cool.
This will be a fun one. I've not heard from anybody who's actually seen them though. So yeah. Next up, here's one that a lot of people have seen.
Yeah.
Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome, Singapore Sling from 1990. This is one that they announced they were putting out way back in January to try to entice everybody to subscribe. Got fairly subversive slipcover art on this. And for those that have not read about this yet, it does say, on a dark and stormy night, mother and daughter, a wealthy pair of psychopathic killers with a penchant for murdering their servants, happen upon a badly injured man laying dying in the mud. Bringing him back to their opulent villa, they begin nursing him back to health, naming him Singapore Sling in the process. As soon as he is well enough, the twisted duo begins subjecting him to every manner of torture imaginable. But as each of them develop their own unique interest in their mysterious victim, a perverse love triangle begins to unfold, leading to shocking revelations. Like I said, this one's from 1990, and it is, I believe, a Greek production originally, right?
Mm.
And then this one's newly scanned and restored in 4K from the OCN. A documentary that is 80 minutes long is on this from 2011, exploring the work of the director. We've got a new interview with the wife of the director that's 12 minutes long. We got 3 new interviews with people associated with the film, all in total about 30 minutes on this. And then a 20-page booklet. And yeah, this looks like a pretty decent release for something that is supposedly pretty damn good.
Yeah. I tell you though, people are weird.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, I've been around the world quite a few days at this point, and I've got my own litany of dark perversions and violent tendencies, but I just don't have the patience or the forethought that would have to go into torture. I just could not ever get to that. It would take way too much prep. And then, you know, once you get going, it's like, all right, now I'm committed to it, but like, I really don't feel like I've already pulled out 8 fingernails. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that we're discussing torture and your problem is the prep time.
I think I have an undiagnosed ADD. You know, people with ADD could never be torturers. You know, or
either that or they
were,
keep discovering new ways to do it.
I don't know, but they like quit halfway through and, you know, move on to something else. I don't know.
No victim ever gets finished because I'm bored with this one.
So you know, I'll watch the torture movie, but it doesn't speak to me on a gut level.
I love with this cover, Terry makes the wonderful pun, says the cinematography shown off in the trailer for Singapore Sling was definitely eye-catching. Next title. This is coming out as part of the VSL line, and one that surprised quite a few people. I'm glad this is coming out, and yeah, we are getting Story of a Junkie from 1985. John Spacely, known on the streets as Gringo, has spent much of his life selling and using drugs, mostly heroin. Since relocating from his native California to the Lower East Side of New York, Gringo has gained a group of steady customers for the dope he sells, amongst them musicians and actors, and in the process has also developed a reputation as a colorful street character, hanging out amongst the dilapidated environs of lower Manhattan. But with his own drug habit starting to get the better of him, Gringo must challenge himself not to end up on an even darker path from which there may be no way back. This one is newly scanned and restored in 4K from the 16mm OCN. We get a 19-minute interview with the director. We've got an interview with the editor, interview with the composer, 4-minute interview going into great lengths to get an interview with Lloyd Kaufman, since Troma distributed this at one point. And then there's an archival interview with the producer and a soundtrack CD. That is pretty rare with a lot of the VS releases, but I'm glad this is coming out.
That's awesome. So happy to see these Troma licensed films continuing to get great restorations. Still holding out hope for Merchants of Death with William Smith and PJ Souls. Just going to throw that out there, since I've had good luck this past few months with willing things into existence. The Story of a Junkie, harrowing film about heroin. And it's going to be cool to see it look not look nice, but
look nicer than it's ever looked.
Look the way it's supposed to. Yeah.
I'm honestly shocked that we are getting as many Troma films as we're getting, but we haven't gotten some of the bigger films. I'm just thinking maybe they need like more extensive restoration work. I'm kind of shocked like Cannibal the Musical hasn't come yet.
Yeah, well, I wonder if the rights are still all, well, it's on Troma now, so I guess they still have whatever.
Right.
Yeah, Cannibal the Musical is great. Spadoinkle.
And that one I don't think ever got a blue.
Nope. It got a DVD in the short-lived Tromasterpiece line.
That's right.
Yeah, after Merchant's Death, Cannibal the Musical is the next most important one.
There's a couple other big ones too, but man, you can't like overstate how much that one would sell incredibly on day one. So many people have wanted that film for so long.
Yeah, I think it's one of the single best things they've ever done, and that's not a backhanded compliment. I just think it is so funny and well put together, especially considering the budget, with an incredibly hilarious cameo by Stan Brakhage.
All right, going to our next one. This is the next cinematograph title. This is Justin the Liberty's line. We are getting a 4K UHD of Going South from 1978. This was a pretty poorly kept secret. He posted that picture of the back of the art for this, which I'll show is just this rope coming apart. And pretty much everybody in every comment section was, "Oh, it's going south." And yeah, so pretty much everybody knew that this was coming. It's one of the fancy media book releases that Cinematograph is going to be doing for everything. Looks like a pretty solid release. If you've never seen it, it is the sophomore directorial feature from Jack Nicholson, who also stars in this. We got a new audio commentary with Simon Abrams on this. There's a new video essay by Sam Deegan, another one by Daniel Kramer, both of which have been on the channel before, and then new written essays by the Jack Nicholson biographer Mark Elliott and film critic Chris Shields.
Great.
Going South. Any thoughts? Have you seen this one?
This was during the period of Jack Nicholson's life where he'd be like, hey, yeah, Roman Polanski, go just set up your camera at my house. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So, movie's kind of cool, though.
Yeah. Moving right along, Vinegar Syndrome also announced some merch and their next deluxe VHS release from DeGosser, and that one is this Night Beast release that lights up as usual. They also put out this Cthulhu hoodie, which I like the design. Very different from much of the other Vinegar Syndrome ones. I could actually wear this one in front of my kids. If you like that design and just want it on a shirt, they also have a shirt. And then Cinematograph also put out this logo shirt. And
It's
then there
totally
is
okay,
this.
totally okay to confront your kids with the embodiment of cosmic horror, but the idea of a matronly shaped figure.
Uh, I've worn the shirts that show nipples. It's the fact that they just have like in the last year gone full on with bush on some of their shirts has been difficult. And now John is saying there's boobs in this design too.
What?
They're covered.
There they are. Sure enough.
There might be bush in that too.
I'm so glad this is on the internet. Just as I'm about to go on a job search, I'm realizing now that I'm going to need you to take down every show that I'm in.
I'll just put censored over your picture and then bleep out all of your audio.
Well, you have to bleep the video too.
Sibner says as everybody leans forward
No.
to check. Oh man, that's great. All right, getting into the partner label announcement. So the first one is the absence of milk in the mouths of the lost. This is coming from Art Label, which coincidentally, I'm going to be sharing in just a few minutes. I'll go by it faster now because we can talk about it now. I put out an interview with Warren Chan, who is the founder of Art Label. He used to work with Culture Shock Releasing, and this is their fourth announcement, I think it was. Yeah, fourth announcement. And this one sounds super interesting, and it is not a New York title. Most of his titles so far have been centered around New York City, and this one is fully in LA. We've got a feature-length drunk commentary on this with the writer and director. We got some interviews with the people involved. We got a director Q&A from a live screening, and then a short film that was scored by Gary Wilson, and a 32-page booklet featuring concept art and behind-the-scenes photos.
I think that's hilarious to advertise a drunk commentary.
Yep.
Which, I've never done one of those.
Neither have I. That sounds rough, especially considering I don't want us to, first of all, but second of all, I don't know that we've talked about this much.
Now we have to.
No, hold on, because I don't know if you and I have talked about this. We probably have off air. I have still yet to ever be drunk in my life, so it would be really weird to make the first time I'm drunk be during a commentary.
Yeah, it'd be a bad idea. And don't ever do it, man. You've made it this far. Every regret in my life is connected to drugs or alcohol, and I don't want you to go down that path of darkness.
Most of my regrets are connected to alcohol, but that's just because my dad was an alcoholic.
I can't laugh at that.
I can, because he's a terrible person.
Oh my God.
Have you got anything from Art Label yet?
Not yet. As soon as I come into money, I'm having to be real careful these past few months. Although my pickups probably tell everybody that's a lie. But yeah, I've definitely marked a couple of these to check out at some point during this year while they're subscriber priced for sure.
Right. I hope everybody checks out that interview with Warren. He is a unique individual, definitely has a fun background. He's got the experience of somebody who's worked on a couple labels, both as a team and now as an individual. And the more interesting thing maybe is as a label, he is moving in towards producing films. He is wanting to be like on the ground, helping young filmmakers do this. And so if I remember right, I think during the conversation, he even says, if you want and you're a filmmaker, reach out to him. Like he might be willing to talk and help out in any way possible. So yeah, this one sounded interesting.
Well, I'll have to send him a film that I made many years ago called Toddler's Attack. It's a zombie movie. Quite good.
quite.
I'll tell you about it sometime.
All right. Next title up.
Cool.
Blu-ray from Canadian International Pictures is the one that excited me the most this month. Animation Night in Canada, Volume 1. Fun-looking slipcover on this, but the biggest thing, 14 Oscar-nominated shorts from the National Film Board of Canada. And not only that, they also have 8 shorts from the directors in this collection on top of those original 14. There's a booklet with a new interview, some other featurettes that, again, this is one of those discs from Canadian International that I couldn't fit everything on the description. So if you want to know everything, go look it up because it's crazy how much they're putting on these discs.
And it's just the first one.
And it's Volume 1. Yeah, Canadian International is great. I'm excited that they're going down this route, and I hope it does very well for them. Animation has been great in the last year.
D. Sibner's asking what kind of drugs are they doing in Canada, and obviously they have a lot of snow. That's cocaine.
Yeah, I think we got that.
Cocaine. Cocaine
next
like snow.
Next title is Utopia releasing Another Body from 2023. This is a very good slipcover for this film, I think. This says a college student searches for answers and justice after discovering deep fake pornography of herself circulating online.
Oh, dang, that's topical.
Well, beyond topical, if I remember right, I think Justin the Liberty said in the chat, I don't know why it's not in the description here, but I believe this is a documentary.
Oh, wow.
So that changes a lot about it, I think. Going in as a fiction story, obviously you can do a lot with that, but as a documentary, that sounds 10 times worse.
Yeah, first and foremost, I'm glad you said that. I will not make any jokes for the next 30 to 45 seconds.
Smart. I do think that this is a good slipcover, not a terrible slipcover, Sibner. I think this is very obvious for what it's doing. This looks great. I'm really excited about this. And then the whole green screen slipcover with putting in the face, like that's actually a really, really brilliant way to sell that slipcover. Not slipcover, documentary. I was just talking about the art, and I got confused by myself. Yeah, this looks good. We also got a director's commentary on this. We've got a director interview from Film Fest Munich. We've got a Q&A panel with the Hollywood Reporter's Mia Gallupo, and then a South by Southwest panel as well, and a Q&A with an actress in this, Juno Temple. That'll be a big one. Or maybe Juno's not even in this. I'm not sure because she's not listed under the... Oh, it says starring various. Well, it's a documentary. She probably does appear. Anyways. Next up, this one has been making the rounds over the last year. Husera from 2022. This says Valeria's joy at becoming pregnant with her first child is quickly taken away when she's cursed by a sinister entity. As danger closes in and relationships with her family become fractured, she's forced deeper into a chilling world of dark magic that threatens to consume her. A group of witches emerge that could be her only hope for safety and salvation, but not without grave risk. This one's being put out by XYZ Films and has a commentary track with the director and co-writer. And then the DP on this as well. There's a behind-the-scene featurette and some deleted scenes. Plus, we got a booklet with essays from Fernando Solorzano, Alexandra Heller-Nicholas, and Brandon Strusnig.
I'm in for this. Witches, pregnancies, love it. Oh,
it's supposed to be great. Like this is one that David's seen it as well. I think it was on Shudder at one point. I'm not sure if it still is. This is one that made rounds, I think, early 2023.
So everybody thinks I'm prejudiced against modern movies, and that's not true. I'm prejudiced against modern studio movies. This looks great.
And XYZ does pretty good work. Next one up, Factory 25, releasing Job's World. Not sure how this is pronounced. Correct me if you know. This one looks interesting. This one has some deleted scenes revisiting the East Village locations. We've got some conversations and a commentary, and then a book with essays by Michael M. Balandic and Miriam Bale, and a director's interview by Gina Tiroli. And Job's seafood recipe is in this as well.
Yeah, this looks like a after hours type of movie, like a no budget after hours about a drug dealing rollerblader. All I know about it is from watching the trailer on the release announcement, but it looked pretty cool actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised. This one looks really fun. Interesting looking cinematography, but yeah, after hours-esque for sure. This cover.
So explain this one to me, because there's no trailer, but it's from Pulse, and I'm like, well, is this like a porno or what is this?
Well, Pulse doesn't only do pornos, but usually they do French films, and this is in Spanish. That's the crazier thing. This is called Karate Contra Mafia, and this is from 1980. I know nothing about this. This is says Lai Chow, a young sailor and expert in kung fu, inadvertently finds himself dragged into an international diamond smuggling scheme. With both the police and the local mafia don, along with his hooded henchmen, in hot pursuit, Lai Chow is forced to fight for his life as kung fu expert killers lurk around every corner. Love that last sentence. This has a featurette on here. And it says Karate Contra Mafia, the karate film that failed at everything. Standing ovation for Ramon Saldias at 2016 Nannerland Night screening, the original trailer. And then French Karate, a selection of French Kung Fu film trailers scanned in 35 millimeter. And then there are English and French subtitles on this.
So wait, are these trailers that are like dubbed in French of martial arts films from Hong Kong and China? Or are these French films with French people doing martial arts?
I would have guessed French people, but I think we're going to have to see. Roddy says, dragged into an international diamond smuggling scheme. Who hasn't been there?
Oh, man. I'll tell you a story about that.
Oh, that one Thursday, yeah. Next up, the hottest seller of the month.
Had to be a mule.
AGFA releasing The Last Slumber Party from 1988, which is one of the most sought after films from AGFA for quite some time now. Glad this is coming out. This says, a surreal slasher from the wilds of New Orleans. The Last Slumber Party feels like a young adult novel by R.L. Stine that was filtered through a haze of DIY madness. The story follows the foul-mouthed, sex-crazed Chris, played with gusto by Jan Jensen, Tracy and Linda as they prepare for the ultimate slumber party on their last day of high school, but little do the ladies know that the party is about to be crashed by a maniacal killer with a giant scalpel. Rejecting all forms of logic in favor of a dreamlike mood, lifted scenes from Halloween and songs by Metalhead's First Strike, this is regional horror filmmaking at a magical peak.
Oh, yeah. Well, not only does the killer have a giant scalpel, but he appropriately masks and distances as he goes through. I saw this many times on VHS in my video store days.
Yeah.
It is quite a good time.
This is restored from the original 16 millimeter camera negative with inserts from the 16 millimeter work print and 1-inch tape master. There's a commentary with the director and some of the stars and crew members. Q&A from 2016, outtakes, the original home video trailer, which is pretty cool, photo gallery, and then preservation of the VHS version from the 1-inch tape master. Man, they did a lot for this, and it sold like gangbusters, and I believe the last slip sold today.
Yeah, I'm pissed because I definitely was going to get this, but I was waiting for my paycheck, and unfortunately, thanks, Joe Biden. Uh, this country, this country has a screwed up payday system. Cost me my slip, so I will be voting third party.
What? what? What is the payday system that screwed with you here?
I gotta wait till the 15th.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that was the country's fault.
It's the Dems.
Oh man. Stan wants slipcover justice. Dustin says Jan Jansen is the funniest final girl in history. Love this crazy movie.
Sweet.
And moving on to the next title. That is Yellow Veil putting out this is great slipcover, by the way.
And this movie looks awesome.
And everybody that's seen it so far is raving about it.
Yeah.
This is Rebel from 2022. And this says, when Kamal resolves to change his life for the better, he leaves Belgium to help war victims in Syria. But having arrived, he is forced to join ISIS and is left stranded in Raqqa. Back home, his younger brother Nassim quickly becomes easy prey for radical recruiters who promise to reunite him with his brother. Their mother, Layla, fights to protect the only thing that she has left, her youngest son.
That's tragic. See, and this is why, when I want to help people, I don't go there, right? Because shit like this happens. So I round up at the grocery store. That's my contribution. I do the roundup option. Sometimes I'll have my bill will be such and such and 6 cents. And they'll be like, you want to round up? And I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I do. Send that money to help, hungry people.
You sound so noble, Will. This has an intro from the filmmakers. We've got a short film on this from 2011, a commentary track, animatic to scenes, intro musical number 1, behind the scenes footage, some dance rehearsals, Q&A with Oliver Stone. We've got some family testimony, some video clips, a U.S. trailer, and then a written essay from Evrim Ersoy, who's a film programmer. I mean, this, again, fits very much with the Yellow Veil branding, but this movie looks remarkable.
Yeah, this is definite. Hopefully there'll be a slipcover for me.
Well, Cinema Jimbo wants to remind you, hey, don't forget, Orbit will be getting some of the Last Slumber Party with slips, so keep an eye on it.
Oh, good point. Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
Yeah, this is good looking. Next in line is Dark Star Pictures putting out Scalper, which, man, I saw the slip and I was like, that's interesting. And then I looked at the stills from the film and went, oh, that slipcover makes exact sense with how they filmed this. Did you look at the pictures from this one?
I haven't yet. No.
This one looks wild.
Yeah.
So this is from 2023, and it says everyone around psychic Clementine Carter is being brutally murdered by a masked killer who is dubbed the Scalper. Is it dead psycho Andrew Lubitz back from the grave, a copycat killer, or a horror beyond imagination? Clementine must use her second sight to stay one step ahead of the maniac's blade to solve the mystery. This has a director commentary, a making of, deleted scenes, and then special effects and makeup test footage. Anybody seen this one?
Have you ever noticed how psychics always seem to attract trouble?
Yeah, I really have. You'd think they'd see that coming.
Well, I wouldn't. If somebody told me they were psychic, I'd be like, "See you later." I don't want you getting impressions of my emotional state or
right.
Getting visions of evil things I've done. All right, look. All right, Stan.
Oh, Jack says Scalper is by Chad Farron, who directed Parasites.
There There's your ring light stand.
Does it work, Will?
When I plug it in, it makes the computer cut off.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that you're running off a generator.
Got my daughter on a bicycle.
Oh man, that's perfect.
I mean, like, I'll plug it in, but I don't have the equipment that I need to be a professional YouTuber, and that is why I am a perennial guest.
Well, once the commentaries start paying about 14 times as much, we'll have to get you something.
Yeah. What would that even do? I can turn the ring light on, but it won't make a difference.
I mean, you would potentially look a little bit better. There would be light on your face.
Wow. That, like, why don't you just body shame? Like,
that's the obvious. Don't try to shame my not shaming. I'm trying to tell you that we want to see your face.
I can see my face. Can you not see my face?
I mean, it's very dim where you are.
Dim?
Yes. Anyways, I'm going to keep going. Let's focus on what's important and not your face.
It was Stan's fault.
Yeah, it was Stan's fault. Next title is from Saturn's Core Audio and Video. They are putting out Severe Injuries from 2003. There's so much about this that I want to talk about. This cover art, it's so hard to think about Saturn's Core, because this feels so anti-Saturn's Core. This art is like too polished and very modern style compared to normal, although it is a little bit more of a modern film. But then the back of this is just absolutely funny as hell. It's one of those chickens being cut with a chainsaw, which is hilarious. Will, you know you're not supposed to hold the ring light like a microphone, right?
Well, see, it doesn't do anything. Now you can see my face.
Oh man,
I'm holding it. The microphone is down here. See?
Paul says, now it looks like a plane window. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, anyways, yeah. Your screen is awful. Reading about this film, let's go through this. Melvin Hubble is the last in a long familial line of extremely unsuccessful serial killers. In an attempt to fulfill his father's dying wish, he takes one final stab at glory by sneaking into the Row sorority house on the eve of the girls' prospective slumber party. Unbeknownst to Melvin, another killer with similar homicidal intentions is also loose in the same house. Surrounded by a bevy of horny and brainless sorority bimbos, only the bookish psychology major Lauren has the wherewithal to perceive the imminent danger afoot. This is a satirical send-up of the sorority house and slumber party slasher epics of the 80s. Severe Injuries marked the directorial debut of the prolific actress and filmmaker Amy Lynn Best, one of the most unique and dynamic female voices to emerge from the primarily male-dominated micro-budget SOV scene. You've got a whole lot of names in this, including Debbie Rochon, Robin Griggs, Lilith Stabbs, Lloyd Kaufman, Brink Stevens, Jay-Z Cotton, and Riley Morgan. Severe Injuries presented a tongue-in-cheek deconstruction of slasher film conventions.
I'm excited.
I just came back and saw what you are doing to yourself. What is going on over there?
I got the light on.
Oh man, this is unhinged. There's something on the wing of this plane. Did you see Ronnie's comment? Don't bring up planes to Will. He might have PTSD.
Tell you, man. Yeah.
Love that. So this movie has a brand new 2023 commentary with the director and writer, some archival commentaries. We've got a new 2023 retrospective documentary that's 45 minutes long, a whole bunch of archival interviews, and then a whole lot else that I couldn't even fit on here. Again, Saturn's Core giving us everything under the sun. This looks fun. I've never seen this. Anybody in the chat seen this one? Hey, Will, you're almost using it right.
I'm holding it over my head with my hand.
At least we can see your beautiful face.
The computer's on a couple boxes. I don't know what to do.
I mean, this is so awful. Oh man. Any thoughts on severe injuries, Will?
Oh, it's a definite. Honestly, I gotta tell you what.
Oh man.
I think obviously I'm biased towards Zombie Army, but I think the last like 7 or 8 titles, going back to that, what was the one about the haunted Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
Like, I've just been so good, so much fun. I've been like, I've been I've been really stacking up Saturn Core releases. And like you'll get emails from Vinegar Syndrome randomly saying, "Hey, what'd you think of this?" and inviting you to do a review.
Yep.
It's been all Saturn Score titles for me. I get these emails for Saturn Score and pornos for some reason. So you're going to see a lot of my reviews for Saturn Score stuff and a couple pornos.
I'm eager to see your review on all those pornos. Yes.
Yeah. All right. How about that? Is that any better? Or is that?
God, it's so bad. Night Chills. That was the name of the D&D movie.
Yeah, that was cool. And yes, Stan, this was your fault. You should just let me be ugly.
Oh, okay. Next title. Music Box, which I feel like we haven't heard from Music Box in quite some time. They are releasing Signature Move from 2017. And man, does this story sound really weird with the marketing and the trailer for this. This says, in Chicago, Zainab is a 30-something American Pakistani lawyer who lives with and cares for her recently widowed, TV-obsessed mother, Alma. Alma is a free-spirited Mexican-American bookshop owner. Oh, never mind, the mother's name was not Alma. I apologize. This is another character. Alma is a free-spirited Mexican-American bookshop owner. After meeting in a bar, the two quickly fall into bed with each other and embark on a romance, but problems aren't far behind. Zainab's traditional mother still expects her daughter to marry a man, while Alma finds herself reluctant to get involved with the closeted Zainab, leaving them at odds despite their strong attraction for each other. And then there's Zainab's latest interest, training in lucha-style wrestling with a former pro grappler. You go through that first part of that story, and then they throw in suddenly the lucha-style wrestling, and like, oh, well, interesting. I can see you now, Will. It looks good.
I accidentally, the chair lowered to the ground.
Ronnie pre-ordered this immediately. More lesbian films from OCN, please. Yes. Yeah, this sounds great. Sounds great. On this one, we got a feature audio commentary by a couple of the people involved, including the director, video production diary, 3 different interviews with individuals involved, a conversation with someone involved. We've got Zainab Loves Movies vignette, image gallery, German subtitles, and English subtitles. Very specific. And yeah, that is it for this one. And Will is gone. Cool. We'll just carry on. Will be back, hopefully. So this one, I had to censor, of course. This is Time of Molting, coming from Decanalog. This is a 2020 film. And as you can see, this is the... I didn't even realize that was a drawn nipple right there, but you can barely tell. YouTube won't care. Let's go back to the other one. This is the one that Vinegar Syndrome was using to advertise the drop for the first. And this says, dark, oppressive, and ominous, a heavily atmospheric and harrowing portrait of the ways in which repressed family dynamics can influence and infect the lives of younger generations. Not tangible, not nameable, but inexorable. And this is set in a small town in 1970s West Germany and sounds, really good. Says 57 vignettes adding up to a cryptic whole. You made it back.
Boobies.
Welcome. We got some new interviews on this. We got a Q&A, some deleted scenes, behind the scenes footage, and then a short film. But then also new essays by Sam Deegan, Stephanie Monahan, and Elizabeth Horkley.
Nice.
Any thoughts on this one?
I'm interested in seeing this, but I was telling you last week, I was like, man, I don't know hardly any of these titles. So this is all new to me.
Yes, Ronnie and Stan both say sense of the boobs, but not the cannibalism. Can't show nipples, but graphic cannibalism is A-okay. Thank America. Yeah, come on. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Of course, I mean, if it was an Italian movie, it'd be both. You just do both.
Yeah, that's true.
In the 80s.
Heading to our next one.
Here we go.
The United States of Insanity. We're about to get a lecture from Will, by the way, to everybody. Fair warning.
Juggalo Nation.
So this is coming from Enjoy the Ride Records, and it says the world's most hated, not hatest, the world's most hated band, notorious rappers, the Insane Clown Posse, find themselves as unwitting warriors for the First Amendment after they and their 1 million diehard fans, who are called Juggalos, of course, are labeled a gang by the FBI. With the help of the ACLU, the band fights to uncover the reasons behind the designation and get removed from the gang list as their fans begin to lose their jobs, have their children put into protective custody, and face jail time, all because of their musical tastes. This has an intro from the band. There's a full ICP concert, deleted and extended scenes, a poster gallery, trailers, and teasers. Will, talk to us about Insane Clown Posse.
I don't even have good lighting. I bear no ill will to the Insane Clown Posse. I think that the third Joker's card was a good album. That's Riddlebox. I would love to talk with them about how magnets work. This documentary, well, I mean, I don't know if anybody followed the story when it was a story, but this is real stuff. Like, being a fan of ICP wasn't just enough to get you beaten up in high school or ridiculed by anybody you might be attracted to, but you could actually face serious legal consequences. And it's a story that would be absolutely hilarious if it wasn't so dangerously consequential, right, for those whose only crime is belonging to a family of like-minded juggalos. And I'm not a juggalo. I will never go to the dark carnival. What do they call it? What is the festival called? I will never go to the annual March of the Juggalos, but I am glad that these people have a place to go where they can be together. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really happy for the Juggalos, and I think they should be safe. And of all the gangs for the FBI to spend time dealing with, to go after the Juggalos is just so head smacking. You know, we got goddamn violent militias all over the place.
Yes. So I will say I've known a few people that are Juggalos, that are genuine big fans, and everybody I've known that's ever been a Juggalo, they're not bad people.
Hey, you know what? I guarantee you there was not a single Juggalo at the January 6th alleged insurrection.
That's alleged?
I mean, you know, they were freedom fighters, but
Jesus Christ, oh man.
To hear them tell it.
I really wish we couldn't we could play licensed music and not get pulled. I would immediately start playing Freedom Fighter by Creed right now.
I'm glad you cannot. In fact, I would much prefer to criminalize Creed than I would to criminalize ICP and the extended psychopathic family. No, we're not getting political tonight. I was just making a.
And that question comes from Jimmy the Lip, so don't give him any.
I would never make political statements.
Ronnie says the ring light is fried Will's brain. Oh man,
we got all these people quoting ICP lyrics. Wait, is it actually bothering people that I made jokes about politics? You know that's a real thing that exists in the world, right? Politics.
I will say we have gotten multiple reviews that says this show is too political, which I think is hilarious.
This particular one, or just in general?
Yes, we have reviews on this episode that have already been up for like 3 weeks in advance. They knew that this was going to happen. No,
well,
the Disconnected has been called too political.
Well, films are about stuff.
You know what I mean? Much of the time, it's politics.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw that one about the freaking guy who got recruited by ISIS just a minute ago, but it's not the Archer ISIS. It's the real one. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Jack says he gets screener copies of Reconnected.
I'll tell one last thing about this documentary. It sounds like there's a bunch of juggalos like watching tonight, so I'm sure they'll all pick up a copy. But if anybody's on the fence about it, I think it's still on Tubi. You can do a preview of it. I watched it.
It is still on Tubi.
I thought it was quite good. I'm interested in picking this up. Funny ICP story. So I teach a cult films course, and early in the course, you got to talk about what a cult following is, right? For films and bands and stuff. And ICP was coming into town. They were coming to Greensboro at this place called Arizona Pete's, which is like a warehouse or something. And I was like, well, I'll tell you, I was talking to the class, and I was like, ICP is definitely a cult band. If anybody, who's unfamiliar with ICP wants to go to the show and, do a little reflection on the Juggalo Nation, I'll be happy to give extra credit. And one guy went, and he said it got to be 3 a.m. and they still hadn't come out yet, so I just gave up and came home. So,
Jesus.
I gave him extra credit anyway.
So this is not meant to be judgmental, but I think it's hilarious that you say ICP was playing at Arizona Pete's, just because that sounds like the cliche, jokey type of place where you would say ICP is playing.
Mm-hmm.
A warehouse called Arizona Pete's.
Yeah. I think it's like it's also a type of tea or something, right?
I think so.
A tea brand.
Can we reiterate for Haunted Sideshow, who says your political hot takes are only scary because we can't tell if you're joking? And let's reiterate, it was an insurrection, and it was awful.
Allegedly.
Damn it, Will. Look at that. My mom is not a fan of ICP, but says she watched this documentary and found it interesting. I love this conversation. Let's go to a different title already, huh? Here's a great title. Hey, Deaf Crocodile, who's in the chat tonight. Hi, Craig. They're releasing World War III from 2022, and this movie sounds incredible. It says the official Iranian entry for Best International Feature Film at the 2023 Oscars, and the winner of the Orizzonti Awards for Best Film and Actor at the Venice Film Festival in 2022. Director Houman Sayedi's savage, mysterious thriller drama World War III is one of the darkest, most enigmatic portraits of class inequality, desperation, and murder since Lee Chang-dong's Burning and Bong Joon-ho's Parasite, which are both incredible films. Mohsen Tanabande delivers an unforgettable performance as Shakib, an anonymous day laborer still grieving the deaths of his wife and son, who's given a job guarding the set of a film about the Holocaust. When the lead actor playing Hitler is struck ill, Shakib is enlisted to wear the costume and mustache, and for the first time in his life, he has a little money, respect, and a place to sleep. Unexpectedly, his sex worker girlfriend, Ladan, shows up, threatening to upset his tenacious hold on prosperity. When Ladan suddenly disappears during filming, sets off a violent chain of events. What starts out as a dark satire of the Iranian film industry quickly evolves into a near Hitchcockian thriller of the underclass struggling violently to be heard, to be seen, with an apocalyptic ending that is truly something to behold, rated 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Speaking of politics, good God.
I'm very excited about this film. I've been excited about it since I first heard it was a thing. And so when I get paid, there's going to be a new order coming in direct to Deaf Crocodile. So excited about this. And I mean, I don't know, what a complex and resonant story. I'm afraid to say anything else.
Craig says, after Walter Chaw screened it for his commentary track that he did on this, he said it was one of the best films he'd seen that entire year. Silent Mandible says, instant buy. Cinema Jimbo wants to know if there's a cat in it. And then Sardis is reminding everybody, order from deafcrocodile.com to support the label best. And then Craig has been telling people, if you really want to sum up this movie, it is, how far can you push someone who has nothing? Fuck around and find out.
Yikes.
So on this, we have a new hour-long video interview with the director and co-writer, moderated by Dennis Bartok. It is in Persian with simultaneous English translation. There is a new commentary by Walter Chaw, like we just said, and then David McKenzie of Fidelity Emotion does the Blu-ray authoring. As we said during the Shelf Shock Rewind Awards, they are always apt to tell us who does the authoring on this, because Fidelity Emotion is the best in the game.
You know, there was a question about whether there was a cat in this movie. And of course there's not, because in fact, the real Hitler was a dog lover and had a beloved pet dog. And in fact, the last full comedy special by Norm Macdonald, it's called Hitler's Dog, and it has this great joke at the end about, you know, how pets love you unreservedly, and about how there was this, at one point, this dog who was like just totally in love with Hitler. like every time Hitler would come to the bunker, the dog would be like, hey, Hitler, we want to play catch, you know. Of course, that's a digression.
Of course.
But this film, cannot wait to see it.
I ordered direct from Deaf Crocodile on day one. I cannot wait to get this in. And speaking of ordering direct, just in case you didn't see Craig's comments earlier, Bubble Bath just showed up at Deaf Crocodile headquarters, aka Craig's garage, today, and he is shipping out as he listens to this. So thank you, Craig. Have not got my shipping notice yet on that, but I can't wait to get it in.
Oh, I got a Bubble Bath coming. Hey, you know what else I ordered from Deaf Crocodile that just shipped? A Polo. I got me a Polo.
I forgot. I definitely need to do that.
You know, because I got to go job searching. I'm going to have to probably do an interview at some point. And all I got is Severin and Vinegar Syndrome T-shirts. But Deaf Crocodile very smartly recognized, hey, at some point you're going to have to look vaguely professional. We'll make a polo.
Maybe we won't put Bush on this one. Oh man. So yeah, I think that was the last OCN, right? Yeah. No. Well, Mel, you've seen, but we'll talk about those in just a second. But the partner labels and Vinegar Syndrome. How do you feel about the slate this month?
Well, as I mentioned, this is a slate that I don't know much about, and I'm always excited when that happens because it means that I can just kind of throw darts at the wall,
right?
To pick up several. Joe Rendazzo just made what is my favorite joke so far in this stream.
Do you have to watch World War I or II to be able to understand what's happening here?
Actually, in this case, you probably should know a little something about World War II at least. But but it's not required.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Much like Door 2, you don't need to see World War I or World War II first. So yeah, I will say I had only heard of Huesera from the slate tonight, but there's something about what the partner labels have been doing lately. There are a lot of really interesting choices being made, some great titles, and again, the way that I talk in a lot of the interviews, because at this point I'm basically playing Pokemon and I got to catch all these partner labels at some point, even though they keep adding like 9 more every month. How do I get them all? At this point, they are doing things that are so interesting on the features that I just can't wait to see what these turn out for. And yeah, these are all, like, I didn't see Huesera. All of these are blind buys, and I didn't get all of them, but every single month, like even this month that I don't know anything about any of these, I'm still interested in seeing every single damn one.
Yeah.
Every single one.
I guess that's the idea, right? But yeah, I mean, I do think
hard.
As the years have gone on, it's been harder to decide.
Yeah.
I go back probably my first year as a subscriber, and it was a lot easier for me to just pick 2 or 3 titles. And now I'm like, how can I get everything on?
Will, I think the ring light finally ate up all of your internet. You are freezing like crazy. Okay. You're back now.
Oh, did you hear what I said?
Nope.
Damn, it was all heartfelt.
It was hard to decide when you were getting 2 or 3 and then something after that.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, it was easier for me to decide 2 or 3 titles, and now I'm every month I'm like, how can I get the whole slate? And it's just it's a good problem to have, but it's it's hard to choose.
Going from choosing 2 or 3 to wanting 12 or 13 definitely makes it very difficult.
Yeah.
All right. On the Melusine side, this is a Blu-ray release from the Distribpix line. We get The Bed and How to Make It and Nude in Charcoal. There's a typo there. That's wonderful. 1966 and 1961 are the years here. And this one is interesting. What was I going to say about this one?
These are Sarnos, right?
Yeah, that's what they are. These are both Joe Sarnos.
Cool.
And something weird worked on both of these.
Yeah. So these are going to look good and be strange.
Yes, and to guide you along the way, they employed Tim Lucas.
Yeah, right.
For both of these discs, and you've got new commentaries on both of these with Tim Lucas. You've also got 52-page manuscript booklet with an introduction by Tim Lucas as well. And yeah, this looks like a really something weird style release.
Yeah, that's a definite. Just anytime a Joe Sarno movie comes out, I at least want to see it.
Sardis says, are they in color or black and white? I
think they're black and white, right?
I thought black and white. Let me pull up the Melusine site. I believe they were black and white. Yes, black and white. I mean, but shot really well. I mean, very interesting, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good. Let's see. 60s sexploitation is the best, says Jack. Sibner says, I believe some of it is in color. I don't see any color in the screen caps at all. I don't know if that changes things. And then in the description, it doesn't say either way.
Well, buy it and find out.
Yeah, exactly. Next title, which I think this is the biggest Melusine month yet, which is interesting. This one is Inside Little Oral Annie, and then Little Oral Annie Takes Manhattan. These are from 1984 and 1985. Wild slipcover on the back of this with the Twin Towers there.
It's a little bit of false advertising. Most of the movie takes place on a boat.
I was waiting for like a 9/11 joke, and that was the best way to take that.
Oh, I didn't even think of that one. Oh man, I do have a good 9/11 joke though.
Oh man. Oh, that's a good joke too. Only the Muppets and Jason have done it before. And Jack says, "Is this a sequel to the Muppets Take Manhattan?" Oh man. So this one of the most sizzling and underrated sex stars of the early 80s, Little Oral Annie started her career as a top photographic model before turning to film work. Her unique approach to eroticism was chronicled in 2 features from master sexploitation auteur Joe Sarno. So this one, region free, we've got archival video interviews, both scanned and restored in 2K, restoration comparison featurette. I love when they include those. You got a limited collectible 11x17 Little Oral Annie poster, and then a 20-page liner note booklet.
Yeah, hang that up in the office.
Why not? Why not?
Well, it's more Joe Sarno. So.
I was going to say Joe Sarno everywhere this month.
Yeah.
Jack says, I think the next Discord watch party needs to be a marathon of Muppets Take Manhattan, Jason Takes Manhattan, and Little Oral Annie Takes Manhattan. That would be a wild triple feature.
Add Woody Allen's Manhattan.
No, I think I'm all right.
Well, that's the one that's in bad taste.
And Sibner says, look at the street shots of New York on this. He says the street shots look amazing. And I agree. This is like the exact kind of movie that you watch and you go, damn, like this is a very, let's look at interesting shots of New York from this time period.
That's why they call him Street Shot Sarno. You know?
A second Little Oral Annie has hit the South Tower.
Jeez.
Oh man, that was
that's okay. I make one insurrection joke and everybody's like, "Oh, what?"
You never mind. Next title. Oh, by the way, that last title was a part of the Quality X line. Little Oral Annie is from Quality X. Those were Blu-ray double features. And then the last title, this is from the Melusine line, which means it is a 4K release of Blonde Ambition from 1980, and it's going to be one of those fancy releases with that the big slip that comes up from I believe it's got the triangle at the bottom. I think that's how that first one was shaped. This looks great. This one
is pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
So you've seen it. I have not.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
You know, it's a showbiz story, you know what I mean? Rags to riches, you know what I mean? with the traveling stage show and stuff. It was the cinematographer is Roberta Findlay, right? I think she does a commentary.
Yep, Roberta Findlay does a commentary on this, and
awesome.
Roberta is the cinematographer. This is moderated by Casey Scott. You've got the original
Casey
art
Scott.
and photo gallery. You've got a teaser and trailer on this 36-page liner note booklet with an essay by Casey Scott as well. You also get a custom collectible postcard, and now Will's going to tell us about Casey Scott.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut off the postcard. Man, Casey Scott is the Studs Terkel of pornography. Just the best interviewer, best historian. You don't know who Studs Terkel is? He's a historian, oral historian. So that makes it even funnier. Yeah, I just love Casey Scott's interviews. That's it. And Blonde Ambition, yeah, actually good movie.
Yes, Sibner, this is going to be one of those deluxe cases like The Tale of Tiffany Lust. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Chris Silvestri is saying they made a Blonde Ambition remake with Jessica Simpson. And the other Chris Yenko, is saying there's an excellent projection booth podcast episode about Blonde Ambition with the wonderful Heather Drain. Oh man, some of these chat comments tonight are amazing.
I can't see them. Are they good?
What? Yes. I'm highlighting many of them. You can't see them?
Sometimes.
I'm confused, but okay.
I only see the ones that you like deliberately put up.
On your side, you can click on comments, right?
I don't see it.
All right. It's the light in your eyes, and Simner says the ring light is in the way. Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, I need to get some of these Mail You Seen titles. I'm very behind on those.
Behind.
This is it for OCN. Lots and lots coming from OCN this month, and again, don't forget, next Thursday night, we already got new OCN titles going to be up for pre-order just like that.
I found the button, so I saw those last two cracks.
Oh, good.
Christopher and Craig.
And then Nicomedes. They just keep coming.
Man.
All right, enough OCN. Shout Studios has announced that they're having their annual Shout Select Ticket to Savings sale. And this is actually like one of their better sales throughout the year. I know Shout Factory doesn't do great sales all that often. And they've got some stuff on sale for the first time yet, like Fargo Hackers 4K, Clue 4K, which sold out on like day one. And they don't restock during sales, so that sucks. But Point Break is on there. That JFK Collector's Edition 4K is on there. The Sonny Chiba Collection Volume 2 and poster. The sale ends March 10th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific. And again, free shipping for everything over $50.
Everybody's giving Oliver Stone some love all of a sudden, forgetting that he's been like shunned and cast out.
For what?
For the documentary he did, Ukraine on Fire, and then the interview he did with Putin. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the Tucker Carlson interview, but yeah, still.
Right.
Awesome.
All right.
Everybody's like, oh, we're cool with JFK. Ukraine on Fire is crossing the line, Mr. Stone.
That's because JFK was hot.
Was what?
Everybody thought JFK was hot. That was the joke.
They did?
Yeah. Nicomedes says, so no more Shaw Brothers, Arrow, and Shout. There are more Shaw Brothers stuff coming from Arrow.
I think Zelensky's hot.
He's a good dude.
Yeah. The actor.
All right. Next up from Warner Brothers, Dune Part 2, which is out in theaters now, is coming in a 4K standard and steelbook release soon. I believe that'll be releasing in May. We don't have the final release date on that yet, but you can pre-order from Groove, and it's up on Amazon and a whole bunch of other places now. Stan says, what does OCN stand for? It is Original Camera Negative. But OCN is the distribution owner behind all the partner labels and Vinegar Syndrome and Mail You Seen and all that fun stuff.
Lyndon Johnson killed Kennedy.
Holy politics hot takes tonight, Will. Dude McMahon says, what was so bad about the Platoon transfer? It was awful. It is just not a good 4K scan. The studio gave them a rough scan, and even the Blu-ray looked bad, and then it was the same restoration on the 4K, I believe. So there was no real improvement.
I just picked up that Steelbook, so it's bad. Blu-ray?
Yeah, it's not great. It was there was some DNR applied at the beginning, I believe.
I'll never forget the first time I saw Platoon, and I heard, I forget the actor's name, but he yelled out, "Now hold up, man." And I was like, holy shit, that's a Ministry sample. This is off of Land of Rape and Honey album, which is probably the best Ministry album. Although I just got their new one, Hopium for the Masses. See if it's any good. But I don't care about Dune, so don't ask me what I think about it.
Sean from the Food for Thought podcast says I need to give him the scoop on the Shaw Brothers films that Arrow has planned. Sadly, I don't know the actual films, but I do have an interview with James Flower from Arrow going up soon, and we do talk about that just a little bit. So keep an eye on that.
Are they doing a volume 3?
Well, I believe they've already confirmed a volume 3 and 4, but volume 3 is coming very soon.
Dang.
Dude says, was it waxy DNR like Predator? I believe by definition all DNR kind of has to be waxy. When you consider that it's just taking out the grain entirely and making it less noisy, it's going to make it waxy. Period.
Can't stand waxy movies.
Hey, next up, Kino Lorber has announced their next Kino cult release, 1,000 Convicts and a Woman from 1971, directed by Ray Austin.
Don't forget the subtitle.
Story of a Nympho.
Yeah. Just in case people were unclear about what this is concerning.
I've never seen this. Tell me about this.
It's Freddy Krueger's origin story. It is. You'll know about that, right?
I don't know.
Oh, the origin of Freddy Krueger was a nun in an asylum, and a lock was not properly locked, and she was attacked by like the entire. This is not funny.
All right.
She was attacked by all the inmates, and that's where Freddy Krueger came from. So this, I think, is supposed to be a little more lighthearted.
Well, it does say, to the warden's daughter, prison was a giant playpen, a cage full of men to take, to break, or play with any way she wished. So there we go.
What I just watched? You know what I just watched for the first time? This made me think of it. The Million Eyes of Sumeru. You know that one?
I recognize the name.
It's about an all-woman terrorist organization that's taking over the world, but they're brought down by Frankie Avalon and I forget the actor's name, but he was like a big friend of Rock Hudson's and ended up being the executor of his estate. Anyway, he plays like a swinging 60s CIA agent, and he and Frankie Avalon, who's just like a rich playboy, take down the entire all-female global terrorist organization of Sumeru. But yeah, this looks okay.
Kino Cult coming in strong.
Yeah.
Next one, speaking of Kino, they are doing a 4K release of Fright from 1971.
Ooh.
This was a Scream Factory release prior to this release, so they are bumping this one up to UHD. Any thoughts on this one? Susan George?
Love Susan George. Love Honor Blackman. Don't know this movie, but I've seen, when at the video store where I worked, I definitely put this up a million times and never got around to watching it. So, yeah.
I did watch this one a few years ago, and I remember liking it quite a bit. This is a pretty good movie.
Cool.
Next titles are Scream Factory announcements. First one, they are putting out Gretel and Hansel from 2020 on 4K. That's coming on May 21st. And yet again, final extras and specs will be confirmed at a later date, of course, because that's the Scream Factory way.
I didn't see this. Did you see this?
I did not see this, but I have heard that it's like beautifully shot and actually a pretty good story.
I'm familiar with the original Grimm fairy tale.
Yeah, of course. Next one, The Island of Dr. Moreau includes both the theatrical and director's cuts of the film. And this one is going to have a new 2K scan of the IP for the director's cut and a new interview with Shane Mahan, who did the creature makeup effects supervisor. And then there's a featurette, and unfortunately, that's it. They are hardly putting anything on this, and they're calling this a collector's edition.
Well, you don't need much, because what you need to get is Severin's Lost Souls, the story of Rick Stanley's Island Dr. Moreau, which incidentally includes a CD of Stanley reading the original novel, which I've listened to like 6 times. The documentary is fantastic. But here's a hot take. This is going to be more controversial than anything I've said tonight. I think it turned out okay. I think it's a pretty good movie. I like what Frankenheimer, Frankenheimer was sick. But he shepherded the movie through. There's still some of the weird stuff that Stanley shot. I think Val Kilmer's performance is hilarious. I think Marlon Brando's performance is one of his best of the 90s. And if you're going to cast any actress to be a half cat, half human hybrid, Fairuza Balk in the 90s is that actress. I liked it. I the moment from the trailer where the like leopard man like is looking up and profoundly goes, "Father." I quote that all the time, and nobody ever knows what I'm doing. I'll just like, "Father." It's so funny. Yeah. No, so everybody hates me. I see already. Everybody's like, everybody's anti Dr. Moreau. I'm a Morogalo. That's what I am.
Oh, Will, that was a stretch. Wow.
Well, anyway, I encourage people to see this if they've never seen it before, and I encourage them to see the director's cut. I'm excited that the director's cut is going to get a refresh. That's what I want to see.
Stan did ask earlier if it includes the Richard Stanley doc, and like Will said, it does not include the doc, but you can get that for very cheap from Severin during any of their sales. It's up on Amazon. There's lots of ways to watch that. Lots and lots that you can watch surrounding this film.
Great doc.
Next up from Scream Factory is Orphan from 2009, coming as a Blu-ray, which a lot of people are up in arms about, that this is not a 4K UHD. We have no idea why they're doing a special collector's edition for this, because we don't know any features, and we won't know until 3 days before it ships or whatever. But Orphan, did you ever catch Orphan, Will?
I wanted to see it, and then like a couple years went by, and like the twist was communicated to me, and then I was like, well, I don't really care. But it would be funny. This is what I'd do if I was Scream Factory. Is people who order it, I would just send the disc.
What a twist. Man. This movie's pretty good. I do find it a bit odd that they went with a Blu-ray instead of a 4K on this. This already had a Blu-ray. It was a pretty early Blu-ray. It wasn't great. But I don't know. This is an odd choice for them. But I mean, it's Shout. They're kind of all about odd choices. So
there's an Orphan too, right? Which
there is.
Like, how does that work?
Well, and let's make it confusing. The sequel is called Orphan First Kill, and that also came out and only has a Blu-ray in the U.S.
That's a bit of a spoiler,
right? So that's Orphan. That's coming on Blu-ray on May 14th. Then next up, May 7th, they're doing a 4K double feature of the Addams Family 1 and 2 animated films. And they are not putting anything new on the discs as far as features, but they do have special features from the original releases that are being ported over, which can't be too mad about. This will probably be semi-cheap for what it is.
I saw the second one, and I felt like Wednesday's treatment of Pugsley went too far.
I've not seen either one.
Like I was watching with my daughter, and I was like, yeah, don't do any of this stuff. Don't do any of this stuff to your siblings. It was just too much.
It's animated, so I get that. They got a lot more freedom.
No, but it wasn't like, it's fine. The physical stuff is fine, but like she was mean.
Right.
It wasn't funny. It wasn't macabre. It was just mean. She was mean.
So that is the Addams Family for Shout. And then, just like Orphan, they're putting out a Blu-ray of Dracula 2000 on May 14th. This has, okay, cool, but also new 4K scan from the OCN, and they're only releasing a Blu-ray for a film that already had 2 Blu-rays. Doesn't that seem like an odd choice?
Well, it's got a new, but it doesn't. This doesn't need a 4K. It's fine.
Well, that's the thing, though. It didn't really need another Blu-ray.
Yeah, but it's got a new commentary.
Okay.
Wait, do I have to? I really want the other two, Dracula 2002 and Dracula 2003, all of which are directed by Patrick Lussier, who I think is an underrated director, was Wes Craven's editor for a long time. I take issue with David Holland. I think, it sucks because of vampires. Never mind. I do not take issue with Holland. It took me a second. I like the Dracula 2000 series. It's funny. And Lussier, of course, made what will go down in history as one of the most underrated Nick Cage movies ever, Drive Angry.
Drive Angry is pretty good.
Drive Angry is awesome. White Noise 2 is pretty good. Like, Patrick Lussier's movie ranged from pretty good to awesome. That's a good career.
So not only is this getting a new commentary with Emily Higgins and Billy Dunham, this also has an interview with Patrick Lussier on this, a brand new one.
Yeah.
New interview with the production designer Carol Spear, and then a new interview with the composer Marco Beltrami. So there's a lot on here that is new, and again, odd choices abound. This wasn't made a 4K disc, which they could have to make it more appealing compared to the other Blu-ray releases, but also those new features are announced now. Features aren't announced for the other titles. This got those new features, and it's not a collector's edition. It's just a regular release. With the new 4K scan, it seems like such a dumb decision.
I'm going to collect it, so it'll be my collector's edition.
Oh, man. For anybody that's never seen this, weird, interesting cast in this. Gerard Butler, Omar Epps, Christopher Plummer's in this.
Wait. You got to say who Gerard Butler is.
I'll let you have the honor on that one.
It's freaking Dracula, dude.
I was trying to find the comment. Who had asked? I think it was Sibner.
He comes up and goes, "We are vampire."
Sibner thought it was Tom Hardy that played Dracula.
What?
But no, it is Gerard Butler.
Yeah. That's why my We Are Vampires, that fell flat, didn't it?
A little bit. All right, so that's Dracula 2000, and we'll get back to Scream Factory because they made some weird decisions the day of announcing too. May 21st, Milestone Films is releasing Bushman from 1971. This is a documentary. This one says in 1968, Peace Corps veteran David Shikele enlisted his friend Paul Eam. Wow. Not going to be able to finish that name, to star in a light-hearted comedy about the adventures of a young Nigerian intellectual in San Francisco. Using a docu-fictional style reminiscent of Cassavetes' Shadows, the film observes the foibles of late 1960s African-American culture with an outsider's incisive eye. The result is a vibrant snapshot of the nation's racial politics, from interracial romance to cross-cultural misunderstandings and countercultural joy. The film morphs into a documentary wherein the director's voice abruptly intrudes to narrate its star's enraging fate. Okpokum was accused of a crime he did not commit and was thrown in prison before being expelled from the country.
Yeah.
This is also going to include a documentary that's a little over an hour long from 1966, another documentary from 1992 that's about an hour long, and then a full audio commentary by Daniel Kramer and Rob Nilsson on this. Plus an audio commentary, which is essentially an archival interview. So lots coming on this. This looks like a really great release.
Oh, yeah. This is a film I've wanted to see for quite some time. Learned about it in reading about and seeing films by filmmakers associated with the LA Rebellion, which Shikele, I think that's how you pronounce it, but I don't know.
It sounds right.
Was not a part of, but this film kind of, the restoration and everything kind of got connected with some of the filmmakers and archivists and at UCLA, at UC Berkeley, and so yeah, this is an important historical artifact that I really want to see.
A couple more from Kino to go over real quick. Submarine Commando from 1951,
Yeah.
coming on April 30th. This one has a new 4K restoration done by Paramount in 2020, and then a new audio commentary by Steve Mitchell and Stephen J. Rubin. You seem very excited about this one.
I like John Farrow as a director. I think he's it's going to sound like an insult when I say he's competent. I think his movies are just really like
Logical.
straightforward. You know, they're just compact and fun watches. Farrow, of course, the father of Tisa Farrow, one of my favorite actresses. And I've told you before, I love submarine movies, and you don't. You don't.
They're claustrophobic. To tall people, like, I'm shocked you like it.
Yeah, I was going to say we're both big guys.
You're tall.
I don't ever want to get into a submarine.
Oh God, no! That sounds awful.
Oh yeah, The Big Clock, great film.
Next one up is Thunder in the East from 1952, is coming on April 30th as well. This one has Lee Gambin and then Alyssa Rose on the audio commentary on this. And Alyssa Rose is known for being a costume historian, so they're going to be talking about that for sure. Alan Ladd in this one with Deborah Kerr, Charles Boyer. Any thoughts on this one?
Well, Charles Vidor is one of my two favorite Vidors. I actually think King Vidor is the better director, but Charles Vidor has made some great films. Not incidentally, as listed there, Gilda, of course, you gotta love Gilda. And I don't think I've seen this, although I read the description, it sounds familiar. But I think I'm thinking of a different gun running movie. I'm not a huge Alan Ladd guy. Like when I watch Shane, I'm like, I just don't see the appeal of this dude. He seems kind of wimpy, but whatever. I love Deborah Carr. So
I as you were reading that out, I got a shipping notice from Deaf Crocodile. Thanks, Craig.
Oh, okay. Cool.
All right. After that, interview with Warren Chan of Art Label, like I'd said. Watch that on the channel. And then the last Shout Factory title announced.
Yay!
May 14th on 4K, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This got leaked last week, and they are doing a slipcover. They're doing a steelbook. But the big thing, there are no new special features on this. There are no new features coming. Nothing new being worked on. This is like one of the most popular horror franchises of the entire... Popular horror franchises right now, because they've got a video game coming out, and in the last couple of years, if you have not seen it, every Spirit Halloween is just littered with everything Killer Clowns. How do you not get anything on this release?
I've noticed that, and I don't care for it. I liked it better when only a few people knew about this movie. Although I'm sure the Chiodo brothers appreciate it.
Right.
You know, I'll get it for the new packaging. I just, it's Killer Clowns, man. So what else are they going to do? I mean, I'm available for commentary.
They're not even. They announced they're not doing anything else. This is the package. That it's done.
Yeah, that's fine. You get your lobby cards.
So let's get into that. What they are doing for this release. You can get Killer Clowns as a 4K with the slipcover featuring the original theatrical art. There's also an alt slipcover, which I don't think it looks that great. I like the original art a little bit more. You've got the steelbook that is coming out. You've got limited edition posters of all three of those pieces of art. You've got an exclusive limited edition retro prism sticker that's 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Oh my gosh. And then they've got that collectible enamel pin set, and then a collectible lobby card set. Did you look at the price for the big bundle there, Will?
I did not. I thought it would.
If you were looking at this picture and you see that there are 2 copies of the same movie, 3 slipcovers, 3 posters, a sticker, some lobby cards, and a pin set. What do you realize? Not like joking because you realize that it's going to be overpriced and you want to say that now. What are you looking at this as a consumer and going, I bet this cost X?
Well, I've seen Shout announcements before.
So what are you guessing?
I would estimate that this is over $100.
So Sibner says $189, Bob, like Bob Barker. This is for the entire bundle, $176.
Huh.
That's a lot of money for this. For 2 copies of the same movie, 5 enamel pins, 5 lobby cards, 3 posters, and 2 slipcovers. Oh, and a sticker.
I think that just knocked my block off.
$176.
Huh.
What?
Well, I'm gonna get the Island of Dr. Moreau.
And I get that, and you want Dracula 2000, but $176.
I'm not gonna get this. I'm gonna keep my Arrow edition.
Now, what's crazy? I'm gonna say something that I think most people watching this will understand with and agree. First off, they are selling 500 bundles with the lobby cards, 500 bundles with the pins, and they've been doing some funky things with the stock counts to try to balance those out this week.
Okay.
They're sold out of most of these already. I believe all of the pins and the lobby cards are gone, but they've sold out on a couple of the other variants at the minute because they could only say, hey, we're going to pre-sell this many, even though this is a wide release. You can get the Steelbook and Standard anywhere.
Do you know what'd be cool?
If you let me finish my rant, and then you can say that. Think of all the money they made just in this first week of how many titles this has sold and how many new extras they could have made with even 5% of the profit of that.
Yeah.
And they did no new extras. And when you're looking at this, you could buy 2 copies of Killer Clowns from Outer Space in 4K, or you can get Columbia Classics Volume 4 for less than that entire package. Holy hell.
You could subscribe to TerraVision.
You could. Almost. You need another $50, but yes. But that's 10 releases.
Yeah.
That is insane pricing.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you going to say? What would be cool?
I want you to find somebody who buys these and interview them. Because like you're ranting about the pricing that Shout Scream does, but they sell out of every one. They sell them.
Not everyone.
People buy them.
They sell out of most of them.
Okay, all right, most. They sell out of most of them.
Well, that's actually kind of a dig at Scream Factory because just last month, and I saw some complaints about this. People were upset that this got announced when last month during their Love is in the Scare sale, they were giving away, if you bought $100 worth of items, you could get the Happy Death Day bundle that when it was announced was $116. They were flat out giving it away because people were not buying it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, well, then what if people weren't buying it? Why are they complaining about it?
They're complaining because it's so much money. More people might have bought it if you were fairly pricing things. And they were saying, I'm not going to buy stuff like this because if I'm wasting my money on this and in 6 months you give it away, what is the point?
But you just said they've almost sold out of this bundle, right?
Yes.
Well, that's your answer. People buy it. I don't want to. I'm not a capitalist by any means. I'm at the bottom of every org chart I've ever been a part of. But if you're gonna price it at that level and it's gonna sell, then the problem is not with the seller. The problem is the problem, I guess, from your point of view, is these people who are buying it. Because if they didn't sell, they wouldn't do it.
Part of your answer is correct there. However, I will say it's a very capitalistic answer. But I will say, like,
yeah, I mean, it is.
There is so much a part of this that is wrong on both ends. The fact that people were jumping
wrong, like ethically.
I mean, in a sense, kind of, yeah, because it affects the pricing for all of these for everybody else. You're setting the floor of this stuff if you're
Yeah.
continuing to buy these major bundles. And honestly, if I was like, if Killer Clowns from Outer Space was my favorite movie of all time, this sort of thing kind of makes sense. Like, if I
Mhm.
didn't have the Arrow release, this would be a great alternative. I'd get pins, I'd get posters, I'd get all this wonderful art. But 500 people did not purchase this because this is their favorite movie, guaranteed.
I thought you said every movie was someone's favorite movie.
At
I
least
guarantee
one
you
person,
500
but not.
people.
I
Killer Clowns?
guarantee.
Killer Clowns, there's 500 people. It's their
Oh,
favorite
at
movie.
least, but not the 500 that bought this. That's
I
where
don't
the
know.
ethical thing comes in.
I don't know, man. I mean, I do my part by not buying any of these bundles because I don't care about lobby cards and shit like that. But I don't know. I mean, like, I don't like that Shout or Scream or whatever does this. But it doesn't. And like, I totally respect that it bothers you, but it's like I feel like I don't understand really why it bothers you.
Because I know people.
To me, it's just like I'm not going to get it. It's over.
One of the reasons, and I don't know how much this matters, is because I am the admin of like the biggest Scream Factory collectors group on Facebook, because somebody asked for help and I run the group, and so I get a lot of questions and a lot of complaints about it. And the big problem with this, there's a lot of people that are they're like collecting from the sidelines. They get some things, and when they jump on here and they see, holy shit, everybody's saying that every version of this is selling out, I have to go buy it because I love this movie. It fucks with the people that don't need to do that.
I see. Oh, you should be subversive and send them to other labels.
I do.
Nice.
I absolutely do.
I didn't know that. Holy shit, man. So you mean to tell me that you run like 19 podcasts? You're producing, am I even allowed to say the like a round number of the amount of special features you're producing?
Sure.
Like 11,000.
That's pretty round, yeah.
You've got your Discord thing. Wait, I said that twice, didn't I? No, your Discord. No. And you also, how many Facebook groups do you moderate?
I stepped off of 2 of them and I'm down to 3, I think.
What the hell, dude?
I also run the biggest community group for the city I live in.
There's a group of people who just talk about living in Kansas City?
Not Kansas City, it's a suburb city, but yes.
What do they talk about? Custard?
I mean, sometimes, sure. But like sharing resources and stuff. Oh, yeah, you forgot the zine.
And the zine.
Wow. Man. Which is very late, by the way. I'm in the middle of prepping final stages for this next one. Anyways,
what am I doing with my life?
we don't need to talk about all of my shit. Let's keep going, huh?
Well, hold on. One more thing about this. It's unconscionable.
Was that the one more thing? Are we good now?
Yeah.
All right, we got a second wave of announcements from Disney. They are putting out 4 more 4K and Blu-ray steelbooks. This first one for Obi-Wan Kenobi, the complete series. Just like the first wave, this will be available widely. You don't need to buy it from any single one location. This will come out on April 30th. All 4 of these releases will. And they're all going to be filled with special features, surprisingly. And it looks like they're going to be done on 100 gigabyte 4K discs. And they're going to have Dolby Atmos sound. I mean, they're shockingly doing things right. And I don't think these are through the Sony distribution model yet. It's kind of wild.
So is everybody like on board with Hayden Christensen now?
I mean, he's pretty popular. A lot of people like it. I've never watched it.
What's he in?
The Star Wars stuff.
I mean, I just know he's like the shitty Vader.
Yeah, that.
That's it.
Just
right?
that. I mean, that's all I know him from.
I don't know him from anything else.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah. So that's the first title. Next one is Andor. This is the first season. This is also coming out on the same day. Got a bunch of bonus features. This one will have 300 gig 4K discs if you get the 4K version.
Wow.
And then next is Moon Knight, the first season. This was the Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke series from the MCU. This is supposed to be pretty good looking. I like the art on this.
It's good looking. All the people in it are good looking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was in the Plagiarism movie.
Andor is top tier Star Wars, says Craig.
Okay.
And then Chris says, problem with these is they will be $50 each. Honestly, for 3 4K discs in a steelbook from Disney, that almost sounds like a steal, to be honest.
I mean, it literally is a steal.
That was the joke I was going for, yes. But, I mean, honestly, it doesn't seem that high. And I think these will end up about 45, which is pretty good.
Okay, so we're shipping on Disney, but Scream Factory, they're too expensive.
Could you imagine if Scream Factory released something with 3 4K discs? How much it would cost? They put out standard 4K discs now for $37.
They didn't even 4K the director's cut of Life Force.
Right?
The bastards.
Anyways, the last one is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the complete first season.
Boy. Talk about getting political.
Just by saying the title. Yeah, so that's
for real. Did you see this fucking show?
I haven't watched any of the Marvel shows except for WandaVision.
I did because I my kid, my oldest daughter, used to watch all the Marvel stuff.
Right.
Oh man, this has one of the worst Mr. Smith Goes to Washington idealistic speeches ever.
Oh.
Weird. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I'll spoil it too. What's his name? The Falcon guy?
Is that Anthony Mackie?
Yeah, the Falcon. Well, he becomes Captain America. Spoiler. Like the whole show, he's like, I don't want to be Captain America, and then the other guy's like, you got to be, and then they fix a boat, and then he's like, all right, I'll be Captain America, and then he's Captain America, and he like starts talking to these politicians, and he goes, do better. That's it. That's the show.
What a finale. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I just saved you guys $50.
All right. Well, and the big thing, we don't know this yet. So some more details about this wave. They did say in the press release these should be up for pre-order on March 12th, which is next week. However, the date that they announced the first wave for pre-order was actually like 5 days later than that date. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was slightly late. But the maybe more important thing is for those of us that were signed up on the Disney Movie Club, this will be released before the movie club actually shutters. So we might be able to buy these through the Disney Movie Club.
What's the Disney Movie Club?
It's like a Columbia Music House. Buy 7 for the price of 2.
Oh, the CDs for a penny.
Yeah. Disney has done that for the last 20 years or so. And it's been, they've done exclusives, like all kinds of Blu-rays are only available through the Disney Movie Club. Wow. And they just announced that it was shutting down finally.
Oh, okay. Well. And
so the big thing is if you're a part of the club, when these come out, you have, if you've already fulfilled your membership, which everybody that's a part of it right now, your slate is clean. You don't have to fulfill any more membership because they're shutting it down. You get special deals. And one of the big ones is you buy one at full price and you get every other title you're purchasing for 60% off. So if you're buying all 4 of these and you really want them, one at full price and the rest for less than half off or for less overall cost than 50%, like that's a really great deal. And that's the James Cameron titles about to be released. I got all of them for $12.45 each, I think.
I heard they were delayed indefinitely.
They are not delayed indefinitely. Disney was delaying shipping them to reviewing partners. And they're doing that to curb scalping. But as of today, people are receiving them for reviews. Like Bill Hunt at the Digital Bits got his today.
I really enjoyed, I'm not on social media. Actually, I should be on social media more than I am. at this point since I use it now. But I was on long enough to see people losing their minds over that the post that the Cameron movies were being indefinitely delayed.
Yep.
While their 8K restorations were being overseen by the ghost of William Friedkin, and people were people clearly didn't read the whole post. They were just like, I haven't seen that much outrage
over a fake headline.
Since January the 6th.
Ow! Oh man, that hurt.
I was just about to ask how you go so long without drinking from your water bottle. Because I'm like, because believe it or not, you actually talk more than me.
I do.
And I can't go for like three minutes without taking a sip of water, which this is, by the way. Doing this for you.
I appreciate that. Ronnie wants you to know that Ronnie likes all of your tweets.
I wish I want to tweet more. I just I cannot get a minute to sit down and get it done.
Well, every time you do, I must admit it's a real tweet.
I'm very strategic in my likes. I don't really know what likes do though.
I mean, it increases your prevalence in the algorithm, which I know that's everything you're after.
I don't know.
Hey, let's keep going, huh?
Do you know
Night Swim.
Was an algorithm an 80s R&B artist?
He was a politician early in the 2000s.
Huh. He invented, okay.
He invented global warming, right?
Well, yeah, okay. I'm not going to say anything political about the stolen 2000 election.
Anyways, Night Swim.
Nope. Just in case people didn't hear that, I said stolen 2000 election.
It was the year of hanging chads.
Not 20. Yeah. Oh man, I got a Chad story for you. Well, let's talk about Night Swim.
Night Swim from 2024 this year is coming out on April 9th from Universal. And since it's Universal, they might put this out on 4K in other countries and then release it here on 4K in 7 months. But also, this is being heralded as like one of the worst movies ever made.
I was just about to ask if it was good.
No, and somehow it gets like all no. Because the people that I trust said that they went and saw this and it had to fight walking out.
Who do you trust?
Ghostbusters.
Do you trust me? That's the right answer.
Wait, taste in films or like with my life?
Either one.
Oh, the answer is no either way, but
I thought the concept of Night Swim seemed kind of fun, but
I didn't.
I didn't go see it.
I just find it hilarious that it has like the worst reviews of the year by a long shot. And they said, you know what? Let's put every special feature on this disc. They just do not care.
Well, I don't know if you've seen some of the movies that we've talked about tonight from or over the past couple of years, but we've definitely talked about movies that are worse than Night Swim that have more special features.
We'll see. I kind of want to make you do a review of Night Swim now.
I'd do a commentary.
I really wanted to see Deep House Nicomedes. I've heard that one's great. And there was a media book released by that, I think by Play On, that looked really interesting too.
Oh, it's got old Wyatt Russell. Okay.
Old Wyatt Russell.
Good old Wyatt Russell.
Anyways, let's talk about something better, like the 3D Film Archive. They're running a Kickstarter campaign for a restoration of Arch Oboler's Domo Arigato from 1990. And they, by the way, have already reached their goal, and the restoration is already almost done. So if you just want to pre-order a part of this and help support the 3D Film Archive, go check out that Kickstarter. They always do incredible work. Normally, these get distributed by Kino Lorber. Can't guarantee that for this because they've also been distributed by a couple others, but I'm going to bet this will probably be through Kino Lorber eventually. 3D Film Archive is the best in the game for 3D releases. They do incredible work.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
You know, you throw down the gauntlet with a name like that.
That'd be really funny if they didn't work on 3D films at all.
Yeah. They're like, no, that's just the street address.
Any thoughts on this film or 3D Film Archive? That was a really funny joke.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah, so funny. So funny you forgot to laugh.
No, I didn't forget. It was intentional.
No. You said it. I have nothing else. I have nothing to add. Cool. Very cool.
Jesus.
But I got plenty to say about this.
I guess this episode just is politics. Warner Brothers is releasing a 4K steelbook of American Sniper soon. We don't have a release date on this yet. You can already pick it up from Groove. This is only going to have a Blu-ray, a 4K disc and a digital copy. No Blu-ray in this. What do you want to tell us about American Sniper, Will?
Well, any real patriot will get a 4K player. You know what I mean?
And well, they probably should have got a real baby for the film then too.
What?
Have you watched that scene?
No, I don't know what this is.
I've never watched this movie either, but there's a scene where Bradley Cooper is bringing in a baby, and it's a clearly fake baby. Like, it's a very obviously just like a pile of silicone, and you can see his arm shaking the baby to make it look human. It's appalling. It's hilarious to watch.
Well, he's a great actor.
Look at that. Deaf Crocodile. This is the one with the plastic baby. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want me to say?
Oorah.
I mean, you know, I have trouble. You know, I think great actors are great, but I really hate watching pretty boys try to be tough. I just hate it. You know.
Going to the next one then?
Yeah. Screw you, Ryan Reynolds.
Well, let's talk about Spock then. May 28th, Paramount is releasing a 4K steelbook for Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. Is just a standalone release. I find this odd that they're releasing this. Like, I get that it's a 40th anniversary, but they haven't done anything for the first two films as a standalone 4K steelbook yet. So, I don't know. Interesting choice.
Soon there will be a 4Con.
4Con. It was pretty good. Pretty good.
I mean, it's a like 3.5 hour show.
Yeah.
You know? Like, what do you want from me?
Gold, Jerry.
You get a couple nuggets. I give you a couple nuggets here and there.
Go on to the next one, so we're not talking about Spock all night. Hey, Radiance announced stuff this week.
Well, I like the Search for Spock. I think it's a good movie.
Okay.
I'm not much of a Star Trek guy, but it's pretty cool.
I get that. June 24th in the UK and June 25th in the US and Canada on Blu-ray. We are getting this film, Sympathy for the Underdog, from Radiance. This is a Kinji Fukasaku film. And again, every time Radiance releases stuff, I'm just like, man, this sounds amazing. How do they keep doing this?
Because they're amazing. They won like 6 Shelf Shock awards.
At least, maybe even more. So this says, returning from a 10-year prison sentence, former gang leader Gunji finds that his turf has been taken over by his former enemy, now a large crime syndicate with a legal corporate front. Looking for new opportunities, he gathers his old crew and heads for the island of Okinawa, a legal gray zone ripe for the taking. Made just before Kinji Fukasaku's 1970 streak of Yakuza movie masterpieces, Sympathy for the Underdog is a key film in the development of this director's unique style and themes. We've got an audio commentary on this by Nathan Stewart, who's a Yakuza film expert. Interview with the Fukasaku biographer, Olivier Haduchi. Visual essay on Okinawa on screen by author Aaron Garreau. And then we've got a limited edition booklet with new writing by Bastien Mersoni and an archival review of the film. Limited to only 3,000 total and looking pretty great.
Woo-hoo.
What do you guys think about 88 Films biting Radiance's cover style?
What? What is this?
88 Films is putting out their new line of like, oh God, what is the line called? It's like Asian.
Radiate.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
It's something funny
Nugget?
enough about Asian titles, and they look like Radiance Films releases where it has the Obi strip and everything. First off, Radiance doesn't have a patent on the Obi strip. I mean, it started on records and stuff like that, so it's nothing new. However, what's that?
I have a question.
Okay.
But go ahead. You said
However, it literally looks identical, and that's pretty ballsy to do, especially when Radiance is a brand new label that's only been around for 1 year, and you're copying them when you've been around for like 7 or 8 years. Anyways, go ahead.
What's that thing called again?
An Obi strip, OBI.
Now, what's the difference between an Obi strip in terms of how we feel about them and a J card?
I like an Obi strip because it is made to be the same size of the case and fit if you want to keep it, or you can also throw it away because it doesn't really have anything to do with the packaging. But if you want to save it because it does have the information on it, you can open up the where the sleeve is and take the Obi strip and put it between the plastic of the case and the sleeve, so you don't have to see it but still have it, and it stays in there. It's really nice in that front. J cards are always, because they go around the bottom of the release, they're bigger, and so you end up having to fold most of them.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Good. Next up from Radiance is this one, which is Bandits of Orgosolo. This is from 1961. Says a Sardinian peasant is suspected of murder following an encounter with bandits. In order to survive, he has no option but to turn to banditry himself. I've never heard that word, banditry. Winning multiple awards at the Venice Film Festival, Bandits of Orgosolo continues the traditions of Visconti and De Sica, yet with his own style and rhythms. Vittorio De Seta musters just as much power at the earlier masters.
Oh, this is a definite. There's no question.
So if this is a definite for you out there and you wanted to make sure that you got the best release,
look at the short films.
Note on this one for the UK release version only, because this is also coming out in the US on the same date as that last title. So June 24th in the UK and June 25th in the US and Canada. The UK release has a second disc, which is including a short film program called The Lost World, which comprises his Cannes Film Festival award-winning short film Islands of Fire and others which survey Italy's poorest communities. And so if you want both discs, you have to get the UK version. You will not get the US version.
Yes, if you want to look at the poorest communities, you have to spend more money.
Yes, that is exactly how it does that.
But don't worry, all you have to do is look at them. You don't have to help.
Yes. So Craig was saying about the J card and the Obi strip isn't all that information on the back of the sleeve. So on the Radiance releases, this is the back of the sleeve. The information is not on the back. So all of that special information, like the features and everything, is only listed on the Obi strip.
Well, dang it, I threw all them strips away because they were all loose. God. My Radiance collection's right behind me, so I was literally just looking at them. Yep, nothing. Gone.
And then next one, they got a box set. This is coming on June 24th in the UK on Blu-ray. 3 Provocations from the Wild World of Jean-Pierre Macchi from 1961. Again, the art on this looks incredible, like most Radiance releases. This says Macchi made mainstream films with an independent spirit, even owning a cinema to help the distribution of his films. Yet those films had a specific style, unmistakably his, often with controversial and outlandish themes, and he came to be known as a wild and untamable force, acting as an uncompromising agitator within the French film industry for over 6 decades. Cult horror sensation Latan, hooligan horror Kill the Referee, and Hitchcockian mystery agent Trouble are presented from new 4K restorations on Blu-ray for the first time ever outside of France. Now, note to everybody, Latan, this first film, this is coming from Severin. They announced this week that this is going to be putting out just this film, Latan, not the others in the box set, but just this one. And so if you are interested in go ahead.
They said Latan's going to be part of a Severin box set too.
But they never said it was going to be a Maki box set. They said this title was going to be a part of a box set that is being curated by Kayla Janice.
Yeah. Okay.
So the other two films, these are not guaranteed and probably will not be in the Severin release because they did not say these were coming. Just
what are we going to do?
Latan. What are we going to do? You're going to own both of them probably.
Yeah.
So this, all kinds of special features, newly filmed interviews, archival interviews, all kinds of written stuff. We got a limited edition 80-page book with new writing by Roberto Curti, Nathaniel Thompson, and Alexandra Heller Nicholas. Limited to 3,000 copies, and then more to be confirmed later. They're still working on more extras. And Michael, yes, Latan is a horror film. I've never seen any Jean-Pierre Macchi. Have you seen any of these?
I'm unfamiliar with his provocations.
So am I, and can't wait to be mocked myself. That doesn't work. I regret that immediately.
You can't wait to be provoked.
Sure. Yes, Couch. Pay attention to the way Severin worded that. Latan is coming out. That's the only one.
Right.
And the way they said it is Kayla Janice is curating a box set the same way that she did the folk horror box set. So, I mean, we kind of already had confirmed that they're working on a second folk horror set. That I don't know if it's folk horror. Oh, look at that Severin shirt. Kayla could be working on that folk horror box set number 2, or it could be for something else. They are seemingly always working on like 9 box sets over at Severin. Anytime I speak to Andrew Furtado, he's like knee deep in the same filmmaker for like 3 months in a row. It's wild. Yeah, I regret saying that too immediately. Anyways, my mom says these look interesting. Yeah, these look great. All 3 of them look very good. And then finally from Radiance, they also announced their third zine called Dirty Art House. This is volume 3, is also available for pre-order right now. This will be coming out on June 24th. It is a paperback release. And this one is, I think it said, 36 pages. And in this one, we've got a bunch of different things to cover. Rachel Belwar, who was in the Shelf Shock Rewind Awards, she is doing a piece on Dennis Hopper's Out of the Blue in comparison with Wim Wenders' Paris, Texas.
Whoa.
Joseph Dwyer on Thundercrack and the Kuchar Brothers. Caden Mark Gardner on Miami Blues. Lindsay Hallam on David Lynch. Josh Nelson on Adrian Lyne's Lolita. And then Jack Sargent on Underground American Cinema. So there's a lot that's going to be in this. This sounds really interesting.
Well, content subject to change. So, like, by the time you get it, it could just be an in-depth retrospective on Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls,
with this same cover.
Yeah. Which I would read. I would read that. I think When Nature Calls is the superior Ace Ventura movie.
Oh, of course. Like by a long shot. It's not even close. Any real thoughts on any of the categories that this is covering? Or
do you want to know something? My first date. Myself and my paramour Is that what that means? We're dropped off by our respective parental units at the movie theater to see Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. That was what I decided for my first date, and it was even more awkward than you'd think. But I managed to get a second date, and that date was to see Natural Born Killers. So there is a Dennis. Wait, no, Dennis Hopper's not in. Rodney Dangerfield.
After all that, oh man.
Yeah. I took her to see Ace Ventura: Pet Detective and Natural Born Killers, and those were our 2 dates.
I mean, I got
pretty good, and like you look back on it, I was like, wow, that was pretty good 2 dates, but no, that didn't go well. Well, there's more to that story.
I will say, my current wife that I am very much married to, so it wasn't a failure necessarily. The week I started dating her, when I was in high school, it was the week of Valentine's Day, because of course. And so we spent Valentine's Day, because I was still literally a child, at my parents' home with me, and with the door open, of course, watched a movie in my bedroom. And that romantic movie that we watched was Major Pain.
If he's still in there, he ain't happy.
I love.
You want to know something funny? That movie rules. I love Major Pain.
It's fun.
I'll watch it again. I'll watch it tonight.
I expect an audio commentary in 3 days.
Oh my God. I would so.
To anybody listening, we would love to do a commentary on Major Pain. Shout Select 4K of Major Pain.
Yeah, with some art cards.
That's the one, Craig. Damon Wayans.
Yeah, you can just list us as special features TBA.
Until 3 days before it ships.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish off these announcements. May 21st, Sony is releasing a 4K steelbook of American Hustle. It's the 10-year anniversary of this joint. The David O. Russell film, of course, starring, once again, Bradley Cooper and Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, Jennifer Lawrence, Christian Bale. And this is going to have nearly 15 minutes of additional never-before-seen footage.
Oh, boy. Look at all these.
Your favorite.
Look at all these pretty boys. You got Van Wilder, you got Newsboy, and you got the little rock and roll guy who can't drive a snowplow.
Oh, yikes. Michael Smith wants to know if asked, would we do a commentary for Satan Tango?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed a pattern, but yes to everything.
Oh man, Stan wants to know how my wife feels about being referred to as my current wife.
I was going to say the same thing.
Well, again, that was made to drive home the fact that it wasn't a failure. Like, we're together. Major Pain worked
for the moment.
We just celebrated 11 years. Damn it, that's pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty good. I mean,
and that was funny enough. I know the timing is crazy that this is working out. That was almost 11 years to the date after we watched Major Pain.
Oh, how about that? Well, my first date with my current wife was a double feature of Zombie and Evil Dead. So
I can see why you're together.
Yeah.
Next up. This is an odd one.
Oh,
Real Freak is putting out a double feature of Sidney Pollack titles, Castle Keep and Bobby Deerfield, which one of these has, I believe, an indicator release, and then the other one was on an old out-of-print Twilight Time disc.
Bobby Deerfield is the Twilight Time.
But they are not very similar films at all, really only linked by the same director.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Yeah. Well, you know, Sidney Pollack is kind of like I like him in I like him in kind of the same way I like John Farrow, except the opposite. Because Sidney Pollack films tend to be kind of sprawling and loose. And I don't consider him a great director, although he's done some good stuff. And I would watch any movie that he directed just to see it. As an actor, I like him a lot. I mean, the last thing I saw him in was Eyes Wide Shut, and he was a pivotal presence in that. I want to respond to Craig's comment. I think it would be so awesome if people got this out of a big bin of Blu-rays at a Walmart for $5.
Well, funny enough, it's Mill Creek. This is the kind of thing that will end up in a big bin of Blu-rays at a grocery store for $5.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great because no, they're not great movies. They're not Sidney Pollack's best movies. But, if somebody's just like, hey, I'll get a DVD,
And they go home and watch these two back to back.
Yeah, that'd be, that's good. That's great.
Well, the person with the southern accent that you just put on, they probably buy this thinking they're getting a DVD and then don't have a Blu-ray player, sadly.
Hey, ma'am, all this won't play.
Anyways,
actually, today, just to your point, today I went to a United States post office. I actually had to go to two because the first one I made the mistake of going during like the 12 o'clock hour. They didn't even put up a sign saying lunch break. You could see them, and they wouldn't even acknowledge people. So I went to another one where they like actually scheduled the shifts so that people took lunch breaks at different times. And I was sending a package to our neighbors to the north in Canada, a birthday present to my friend and co-editor of American Twilight, The Cinema of Toby Hooper, now out on paperback from University of Texas Press. Sending a birthday present to Chris Woofter. And so you got to fill out the customs form because it's going to go up to Montreal. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to how crazy shit's gotten in Quebec. It's gotten so crazy that they'll reject stuff if you don't put a little like mark over the E in Montreal, the little French mark, even though that's not correct. Like Montreal does not have a little mark over the E. They demand that you do it just to make it look even Frenchier. But anyways, so I did it and everything. But my point is, I get to the custom form, and you got to list what's in it. And so for his birthday, I got for my friend Chris, I got him a Leatherface bobblehead, naturally, and a card with an incredibly heartfelt sentiment, but also his complimentary copy of The Swiss Conspiracy, because he was an interview subject in our visual essay, Jack Arnold, a three-dimensional filmmaker. So in the customs form, I wrote bobblehead, card, Blu-ray. And the postal worker goes, "What's a Blu-ray?" And I was like, it's a movie. It's like a DVD. It's a movie. And they were like, you need to write that it's a movie. Otherwise, when it gets to customs, they're going to think it's a Bluetooth or something, and they're going to just reject it. And I'll get. So I had to explain what a Blu-ray was, because the postal worker didn't know. So
wow.
And I was like, well, actually, it was going to be a 4K.
Oh God, a 4K of The Swiss Conspiracy. Oh.
Hey, you know what? It would look good.
It would look good. It would not be a great movie.
Well, it's not a great movie, but it's a good movie. I think some of the reviews I've seen that have been a little too harsh on it. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure, a little too harsh. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a kind of diamond in the rough, but the photography of it is incredible.
Oh, exactly.
Craig asked if we've seen Idiocracy. You mean The exact prediction of the future.
You mean have I walked outside? Yes.
Yes. Yeah, idiocracy.
We got stalled here on Sidney Pollock, but funny enough, there's one more announcement, and really, I really only wanted to highlight this because of something weird. April 23rd, WB is putting out Cyrano from 2021 again. This is a repress of a movie that just released in 2022. It's really weird. This is getting a re-release already. That's it. It seems very odd that a studio is re-releasing this.
I didn't know it existed. So I guess that re-release is for me.
I guess so. If you're wanting the Dinklage, you got to get the Dinklage.
You trying to get the Dinklage?
As usual, after the announcements, we try to cover what is coming out next week, just in case you forgot. And like we discussed, those Cameron 4Ks are coming out next week. The Shootist.
Are they though?
Yes, they are. The Shootist from Arrow, Poor Things getting a Blu-ray release. Looney Tunes Collector's Choice Volume 3 from Warner Archive. Stephen King's The Shining, no, not that The Shining from Scream Factory.
No, this Aquaman. That's with the guy from Wings.
Yes, that is the guy from Wings. Paul McCartney's in this. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom on 4K. Kung Fu Panda 4K is next week. All That Money Can Buy from Criterion. Quigley Down Under 4K from Shout Select. Wish 4K Steelbook as a Walmart exclusive. The Running Man 4K Steelbook getting re-released. Ferrari on Blu-ray. Suzumi from, I think, came to us 2023, I think. ISS from last year getting a Blu-ray release through Wellgo USA. Anyone But You, the Sydney Sweeney film. Dragon Slayer 4K getting a repress on Steelbook. Icons Unearthed Star Wars from MVD comes out next week. Color Purple, the new musical on 4K, drops next week. The Whip and the Body reissue from Kino. The Bat Whispers, also from Kino. Colt 45, the complete series. All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. I'm very interested in getting that one. Postal 4K from Massacre Video. I know we don't talk about them too much, but hey, it does exist. Will is already getting Downtown Heat from Jess Franco, coming from Full Moon. Lincoln Conspiracy.
That must be a reprint because I got it like 2 years ago.
Right. The Lincoln Conspiracy from Kino Lorber. Beauty of Beauties from 88 Films, although I don't think that's actually coming next week. The Prince of Egypt, the musical, also on Blue next week. Any of these sticking out to you?
Well, the Colt 45 TV show, let me highly recommend the film from 1950 that it was spawned from, starring Randolph Scott. Colt 45 is a very, very, like, if you want to understand gun culture in this country, Colt 45, the film, very much watch Colt 45 and Jacques Tourneur's Wichita with Joel McCrea. Those films are incredible. Back up to the top.
Back up to the top.
If you please. Love Impulse, of course. Oh, The Shootist. That's the film of the week. Don Siegel, Lauren Bacall, John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Opie.
Arrow Video.
Oh my God, that film is awesome. And you know I don't care for James Cameron, but Ryan, do you know where The Abyss was shot?
Under 55 feet of water.
Do you know where?
I believe the UK, I thought.
You would be incorrect, sir.
Why don't you tell me where, Will?
Shelby, North Carolina, at Earl Owensby Studios.
Interesting.
Yeah. The great Earl Owensby of North by God, Carolina. That's all I have to say about James Cameron.
Reminder for everybody looking at these James Cameron titles from next week. True Lies 4K is the one of these three that got a very different restoration. There was another company that muddled with the restoration, and so this one is going to look a lot worse than the other two, most likely. The digital stream of all three of these True Lies looks infinitely like closer to the Uncanny Valley, based on how they did the restoration. The Abyss got rave reviews from the Digital Bits Bill Hunt today. He says the video looks incredible. Aliens 4K is expected to be on par with that, so you can be confident these are not going to get Terminator 2 restorations like Studio Canal did a few years ago. True Lies 4K, though, it's still going to be a massive upgrade from what we had previously because it was just a shitty DVD. It will just be a little weird looking.
Yeah, now it'll just be a shitty movie.
True Lies is not a shitty movie.
I'm just joshing with you. I'm sure people like it.
I do. Dude McMahon says, I thought The Abyss was shot at a closed power plant.
Mm-hmm. Earl Owensby Studios, Shelby, North Carolina.
Thought it was shot at a closed nuclear power plant. Yes.
I don't know anything about that.
Hey, that's all the announcements and all that we had to cover tonight. That's it, everybody. We finally got there, and it only took just over 3 hours.
Yeah, we're going to talk about something.
That's how we started the discussion. We can talk about something.
I'm just pulling up where it was shot. Part of it was shot in Gaffney, South Carolina. Part of it was shot at the Cherokee Nuclear Power Plant along Owensby Street, also in Gaffney, South Carolina. And then the big tank for principal photography was Earl Owensby Studios, Shelby. So we all get to be correct on that one.
Somebody needs to get the glut of Owensby films out there. I know Rottweiler was a big one, and I'm sure somebody else.
If you guys want to see like the one moment in time where Quentin Tarantino like impresses me, Google Earl Owensby, Quentin Tarantino, and watch a segment of, I think it's the Jimmy Kimmel Show. It'll come right up. What Jimmy Kimmel does is he holds up like video boxes and to see if Tarantino knows them. And the best part is he gets Rottweiler right, but Kimmel has an alternate title. And then, and so he's like, you're wrong. And then Tarantino corrects him and he's like, oh my God, you're right. And I was like, yeah, I'll give it up to Tarantino on that one. He knew the alternate titles for Rottweiler.
There's a 90-second video clip that pops up when you Google that. So I will be watching that right after this. That sounds interesting.
I hope it's the right one. Well,
it looks like it. He's holding up a cover while Tarantino's blindfolded. So I think so.
That's it. Yeah.
Chris says, when are we getting the original Terminator on 4K? The rumor is that is probably coming late this year. So we shall see. And that would be nice because the Blu-ray on that wasn't the greatest. It wasn't botched like the Terminator 2 4K, but it could have been much better.
You know, it's funny. Cameron's like so big on like how perfect his movies are, and yet all of his home video releases are shit. Meanwhile, I've got this incredible box set of Al Adamson movies that looks great.
Stan wants to know, do these 4Ks of The Abyss and Aliens include both cuts of the films? I believe they both do. I know The Abyss does. I think Aliens does as well.
I maintain Alien Resurrection is the best of the series.
Oh, you.
They look so beautiful in the water. They're like Kurt Vonnegut.
Will, anything to share with all of your adoring fans before we call it a night?
I don't have adoring.
Again, reminder that you have lots of fans. I bet now people will confirm that they love when you're on the show because you're an amazing person with a lot of knowledge, just who can't operate a ring light.
I think I got it going on. Yep.
You always got it going on.
What should I say? I mean, thanks for having me, and I always really appreciate that people watch the show, and um, I love the show, and you know, I think that when you're deciding who to vote for this year, you should really take into you should really check out my forthcoming book, Alien Invasion Television: Conspiracy Culture and Paranoia from the Cold War to QAnon. Coming out
You
later.
made me you made me think that you were going to make a joke here, then you start doing something earnest. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
um, um, stay tuned. I think there's going to be some cool announcements coming soon.
In fact, I guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about what the future has in store. This has been a crazy week because, as I mentioned to Ryan a couple days ago, water started shooting out of the ceiling of our house, and so we had to deal with that. And that was a reminder of how helpless we've become. Like I couldn't fix it, I couldn't figure it out. I had to call a person. And the person came and was like, "Here's what you need to do." And I was like, I spent all my life studying movies, which really, like, technically are a violation of the second commandment. Like my whole life is sin. So that's how I'm feeling about it. I kind of feel like, I'm looking at all the bad things happen in the world, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like trying to save up enough money to get a slipcover of some movie, and there's people starving to death, man. Like I saw one today. It was like, anything helps, and I was like, I need my slipcover money. Drove on by, but I did round up. At the grocery store, so I kind of evened it out.
Hey, Will, 2 questions. Chris Silvestri wants to know, what is your favorite release you have in your collection at the moment?
What is my favorite? Gosh, that's hard to say, because I got the Hellraiser quadrilogy, which is not the right word because it's a tetralogy. What do they call it?
The Quartet of Torment? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah, that's a real word, quartet. It's the aliens that call it a quadrilogy, which is not real. It's a tetralogy.
You see this comment, right?
Yeah, I see it. Do you want me to say something?
No.
I'm gonna. Should I?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. The favorite film that I have in my collection at the moment, without a doubt, is Deathstalker 2, Duel of the Titans, directed by Jim Wynorski. What the hell was that? Did I just walk into Jurassic Park?
The needle drop that people will hear.
Oh, the question was, well, it wasn't a question, it was a comment that Craig made about a podcast. Yeah. Well, ask and ye shall receive. Title TBA, because Ryan didn't like the one I came up with.
Don't blame me.
But you didn't like it.
It's true.
But it's me and a lady talking about movies.
Coming soon to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Oh, and she's funny too, dude. Yeah, you'll like her.
The other thing that's coming up for you, Ronnie says, can you talk about what you're going to be doing on Celeste channel?
Uh-huh.
Just leave it at that. I can.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to be on Celeste de la Cabra's channel. Rambling. Oh, do you think we could get that Allman Brothers song as the... No?
No.
That'd be funny though, right?
It would be hilarious.
It'd have to be the outro.
Yeah.
Like the beginning should be some John Carpenter sounding thing, like they do on Stranger Things or something.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. Like not enough to be a copyright issue, but anyway. Well, we'll look into it. Maybe there could be like a fair use cover of Ramblin' Man.
It's just some old guy like just singing the words with no music.
Oh, could I? Oh, I could sing it myself.
Oh God, I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, Celeste de la Cabra.
Oh yeah. What are we doing? We're doing
What are we doing?
I don't know what I can't remember what Celeste is calling, but it's like a class kind of thing.
Yes.
About the history of exploitation movies.
Do we have any idea when that first one is happening?
No. We finished the syllabus. Well, we finished the like topics for the syllabus and like the first like 2 installments planning, and I think we're recording soon. So it'll be coming in the next like few weeks, I bet. And it's like the whole history of exploitation movies from silent to now. And maybe even tomorrow.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'm like this will sound funny to some people maybe, but like I'd never talked to Celeste before, like one-on-one, until just last week when we had our first little planning meeting. So I was kind of like, ooh, like it's you. So it was kind of exciting for me to kind of meet Celeste and talk to her and try to figure it out. But I think that people will be excited or interested maybe in the topics, and yeah, it's similar to a class that I teach. So we'll see how that goes. Like, am I just a paper tiger or do I have the goods? We're gonna find out. Like, you don't know. I told you I was a doctor, but did you ever check?
No.
So I could be shattered glass.
I
could be Hayden Panettiere right over here. For all you know. Christensen. I could be Hayden.
Did you just say Hayden?
I could be Hayden Christensen over here.
So anyways.
Hayden Panettiere was Ally McBeal's daughter in season 5 of Ally McBeal.
Save the Dodson, save the world.
I want to be clear that this is, in fact, Watcher. This is just what I'm like.
Can confirm.
Yeah, you notice you never see my wife come across the camera. That's because she keeps a safe distance at all times.
So to wrap everything up, Will and I are working on a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
To confirm a lot of things. So Will is going to be doing stuff on Celeste channel soon. We are both launching separate podcasts in Q2 of this year. We are looking towards all of these special features, many of which we worked on like 6 months ago that have yet to be announced.
Oh, you know what? We could call the podcast. This wouldn't be a trademark problem. We can just call the podcast, Rambling Man and a Lady.
Just wow, Will. Anyways, like Will said, we've got a lot going on for this channel. We've got a lot of stuff going on for Someone's Favorite Productions. Follow the Disconnected and Someone's Favorite everywhere that you're on social media. The Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network has a lot happening behind the scenes. Lots of interesting shows to listen to. And specifically, if you're here on Thursday night and you like this show, again, we do this live every Thursday night. Plus, there's a brand new interview that goes up usually every Monday, unless somebody requests I put it up on a different day or I'm just plain too busy to be able to edit it properly. If you're into that sort of thing and you want to support, we have a really nice Patreon. You can get access to our Discord. You can get access to Spotify playlist. You can get access to some of the special features that we've worked on at the highest tiers. I do limited edition quarterly merch. Send that out to everybody. If you want to support the channel, we would all appreciate that.
Did you make the tote bag?
I mean, I designed it. Yeah,
that's really funny. What was that? What was that most recent Patreon exclusive interview you just had?
I can't tell everybody because it's a Patreon exclusive, and it will be up on the main channel in like another 2 weeks. So if you want to watch an early interview, it doesn't go up until March 18th, but you can watch it now. And if you were a part of the Patreon, it released last week, super early.
I'm glad I didn't say what it was.
Well, I'll say I had my first house guest. I was shocked. I did my first in-house interview in this movie room with somebody who was the star of a hit, not the star, but a part of the ensemble of an incredible hit comedy show on NBC.
The star. Oh, well, actually.
Dial that back a little bit. He is an amazing person. But yeah, fun interview. Check it out. Anything else before I play our credits, Will?
I will say, if you join the Patreon, you will be treating yourself to a lot of great content.
All right, everybody have a good night. We'll see you next Thursday. Will needs a nap because true story, we record together in just over 9 hours again. Thank you all. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share with someone else that may appreciate this.